All right, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Y'all know how to do it. We got any newcomers, mostly look like family. We may just have new brothers, a couple brothers down visiting us, one from Atlanta. So, you know, they come down to fellowship with us, y'all. We're going to let them introduce themselves after we get going. But y'all know how we do it. We face toward Holy Jerusalem, the holy mountain. And then men are to uncover their head, women are to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Y'all know how we do it, so let's move forward.
We'll get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh HaMashiach, locally known around these parts as Jesus the Christ.
Hallelujah.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 15th chapter, and it reads, Yahweh, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, but in whose eyes a vile person is condemned. But he honoreth them that fear the Most High. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things, shall never be moved. Hallelujah! Yes, sir.
Bro, go now. She said, bro, where y'all, bro, Atlanta, go. Let's worry about somebody know we got fellowship with us down there today.
Shalom, or I should say Shabbat Shalom.
Yes, sir.
My name is Yahweh. Thank you for allowing me to fellowship with you brothers and sisters today.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Long live the King.
Y'all, that's family. Come up to hang out with us. Been here a little while, you know, but just y'all coming to hang out, get some understanding, y'all, and, you know, add to this body, complete this body, y'all, so we may present it to the Messiah as a chaste virgin.
That's right.
So, y'all, that's what we're going to talk about today, because to get to that point, y'all, we got to understand what our rock is and that solid foundation that we got to put your foot on. When you sure, I don't care what it is, when you're testing something to make sure you put your foot on it to see if it's solid, because the other one is already on solid foundation. So you're testing basically the waters. You put your foot out there to make sure it's solid. And when it's solid, you go forth and you tell somebody else, come on, it's safe to walk across here. But if you see something with thin ice that you may see just floating across a beer or some Kool-Aid, you know that ain't safe. Ain't no need going out there. You're going to drown in cold water. So we don't want no drowning in cold water, y'all, from the spiritual perspective or the mental of understanding this walk. Oh, but y'all know how we get down, y'all. Anybody got any questions or concerns? Been a long, hard week. Anything on your mind, heart, or soul that you need to get off? If we can, you know, just hit a few scripts and set your heart at ease, then we'll move on to our lesson at hand. Is Yah's mountain, his solid rock, which happens to be the Holy Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, like bro said, locally known around these parts as Jesus the Christ, the Savior of Israel.
Yes.
So y'all, we want to get this understood and hit a few scripts on this today, y'all. We're going to get deep into that mountain and understand the priesthood of faith and understand, y'all, we got to get in this priesthood. If you don't get in this priesthood, it ain't no place for you, because the crown can't be handed to you. It's not going to be handed to different priesthoods or different other types of priests in the world. That ain't going to count in here. You're not going to be able to go in there and say, I was the governor of Texas. No, that ain't going to get it. So we're going to get down to business. If I got any questions out there, too, by?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
We had talked about it one time. It's just about the miracle of God. When he led our people to that wilderness.
Yeah.
And he parted the Red Sea, right?
Yeah.
I found another precept in the book of Joshua when he parted into 12.
Yeah.
That most people don't. I didn't know that.
You're right.
He parted into 12 for each tribe, and also he was trying to second witness in Psalms 136. I want to say
12 doorways, so to speak, just like the kingdom.
correct
With the name of the disciples on it.
Correct. I want to
And
say
the
that's
12 tribes, well, I'm saying the disciples are sitting on 12 thrones, but the gates of the 12 patriarchs. That's also mentioned in Ezekiel 48 chapter.
no doubt. But yeah, that's in Psalm 136.
Psalm 136 says,
Verse 13, it says, to him which divided the Red Sea
yes,
parts.
in parts.
With the
Absolutely.
That's plural.
So, and then you go back to the book of Joshua that breaks it down.
81:38.
So it's letting us know our whole house was with us at that time.
Yes, sir.
We weren't separated. Our whole house was together. But there again, you see, when you walk into salvation, you coming through according to the tribal origin.
Correct.
So, y'all, it ain't nothing new.
No doubt.
This work already been put out there. But y'all, so we're going to start this on off in understanding the mount of the Lord, because you have to understand the priesthood of faith, and the Messiah is faith. You got to trust in him. Even though we ain't never laid eyes on him, we got to trust that all of the prophecies were fulfilled and he hit this earth. If not, we wait. And if we at this point, and we got to get to the point of the prophecy for him to be crucified again, y'all, everybody in this room gonna be dead before that take place. Or we got to believe what the scripts say, he's come in the flesh already. So we need to get that understood, but we're gonna get right to the heart of it. This mountain of Yah, this solid rock of Yah that can't be moved. Yahweh, Yeshua, the Redeemer, the Son of the Father, all the titles.
Many titles.
I meant to take a picture of that
board
Zeb got with all of the titles of the Messiah.
The
Word of Yah.
Yeah.
That's what he's called. The Word of Yah, the mountain, the solid foundation of the Father. Let's get it. We're going to Isaiah chapter 2. Shalom says. Isaiah chapter 2, y'all. And y'all, this is Bible study, so any question, we don't want anything flying over the top, and you try to think about it and say, I should have asked them when I was at class and I didn't, y'all. So get it off your chest, y'all. That's what you do in study class. If you don't answer, look, there's a soul test coming up that you're going to take one-on-one privately with the Messiah. So these questions going to be asked. What was your faith at? You don't understand, there's a whole chapter in James and Hebrew that deals with the particular subject, and we're going to hit a lot of that today, and we want to go ahead and get started because we got a couple of scripts we want to cover. We're going to read some verses today. But it's going to deal with this rock, y'all, so that we are sure we are dealing on solid foundation, y'all. Any question about this rock and could it be crumbling or weak foundation? Anybody know what a weak foundation? You got to tear the whole house down, right? Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is make sure there's no weak foundation with Hamashiach. Because if we do, we got to go somewhere else and find solid footing. Let's get it. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1.
Reading in the book of Isaiah, in chapter 2, start our reading at verse 1. Let's get some understanding.
Yes, sir.
the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days.
In the what days?
In the last days. That the mountain of the Most High's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
See, it didn't say some nations, all nations gonna flow into it. See, it's gonna be atop every other mountain, every other high place you think out here of somebody that got it going on. It's gonna be above that. That flows into it. It don't flow into nothing else. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High.
Right.
To the house of the Elohim of Jacob.
See, that's what we're talking about, going to that mountain of the Lord, the house of Jacob, the God of Jacob. Y'all, that is after Mount Sinai. So this is a prophecy looking forward. This is not for us to go back to Mount Sinai. That was boot camp. That was basic training. When you join the army, do you stay in basic training forever?
Oh.
Sooner or later, you're going to have to use what you learned, ain't you? If everybody stay in basic training, what's going to happen to the nation? It'll fall apart because what you're training to protect it is still in training. Let's read some more.
And then say that
Go ahead, brother.
It also separates all the other gods of the nations of the earth, because it says the God of Jacob.
Yes, sir.
It specifies which God.
That's what we're talking about. It specifies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Who we're talking about. Go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion, For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem. So we got the Mount Zion and we got Jerusalem right here. This mountain here. So y'all, it said this is where the law is going for. So it will behoove us to get on point with this priesthood and not go back to basic training. If you keep going back into Mount Sinai, it's going to be trouble, because there's something if you keep running back there, there's something you don't know. Or you don't learn, you need to be retrained. That's like a college graduate then going back to kindergarten to learn what? When it's nap time? All ABCs, which one is it? Let's get some up.
Verse 4.
Right?
And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
So we know that's to come, and we got to practice for this, y'all. Even though war is all around us, we still have to practice for this time, that where there's no war no more, neither is where we can live in peace. We did the same thing coming through the wilderness. We were warring with nations to get to a peaceful location, an ignorant-free zone. That's what we trying to do, y'all. That where you ain't got to worry about it, where nobody looking and saying, "Man, he ain't got Rufus with him, do it." Is that man? He done brought Luke Bertha with him, man. She. No, if that's concerned, we wasting our time hustling to get to that. No, y'all, we're trying to get free. We're trying to seek that other rest in Hebrews 4th chapter. We're trying to get to a point that where you don't have to cuss yourself out all the way going to work. Get up in the morning, sit on the side of the bed. I ain't going. Sitting on the toilet. I ain't going. Reading the newspaper. I ain't going. Putting on your shoes and stuff. I ain't going. In the parking lot. I ain't going in there. Sit at your desk. Shit, I should get up and go back home. Y'all tired of it. Because then you rest after that and start it again. When is it going to end? Let's get some more.
We're at verse 5.
Yeah.
O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Most High. Okay, you got that on Isaiah 2 and 4.
All the way.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all of it.
Verse 6. Therefore, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines. And they please themselves in the children of strangers. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And when the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself, therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock.
Do what?
Enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Most High, and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Most High alone shall be exalted in that day.
See, we ain't worried about nobody else with no fantasy. This is who gonna be exalted. What?
In that day.
And what? By alone? He said in that day alone, didn't he?
Yeah, he said the Most High alone shall be
Him
exalted.
alone. Ain't worried about nobody else, but the rock, your foundation, gonna be revealed in that day. Him alone. The chief shepherd.
That's right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 12. For the day of the Most High of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down.
So he said every knee gonna bow. This is basically what it's saying.
That's right.
Anybody we think great is gonna bow down. Everybody. It goes to Lebanon, so it's telling you every great king who talking noise or whatever it is. Donald Trump gonna crash on kneecaps. No, you ain't gonna get into an Obama war with the Messiah. Let's get some more.
You know, that just reminded me of something I heard a long time ago. They said something about, yeah, well, if the president of the United States walks in, everybody will stand up. But when Yeshua returns, everybody gonna bow down.
Yes, sir.
You know, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
all ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Let's see. Where was I then?
You in verse 17.
17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Most High alone shall be exalted in that day.
See, alone in that day. This ain't talking about Papa was a rolling stone and all he left was alone. See, that Papa left you alone. A-L-O-N-E. Left you alone with your mom and the other sibling. Also left a space long, L-O-A-N. Because you probably owed somebody the reason you burn out on him. Our Messiah don't owe nobody about us. Our Redeemer coming to get us. All in. So let's get it understood. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 18. And the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth, for fear of the Most High, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
Y'all think they are building these underground fabulous bunkers? You know, them billionaires building one with a pool and they can stay underground. They got beaches. You're living underground like you're above. They got simulators with the sun that comes up in the morning and goes down, and then the moon and stars. They were gonna try to assimilate life in the holes of the ground, in the rocks beneath, living underground. So they think. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 20. In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Most High.
For what?
For fear of the Most High.
Right.
And for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
See, when they tell you we're going to go to the moon or we want to go to Mars, all they did a little water. You don't know nothing about that. And all they showing you is rocks, ain't they? Moon rocks or Mars rocks. But they saying we need to get up there. We need to get out of the face of him because we know he coming to earth to destroy it. But he also said, I'm going to shake the heaven and the earth. So there ain't going to be nowhere to run or to hide, even in outer space. Let's get some more.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of.
So we got to cease from man, y'all. We got to get this understood. There ain't going to be nobody that you can run to. You have to have a personal relationship with the Most High that when he say, it's going to be one on the rooftop, I'm going to come and get it. It's going to be one over here, I'm going to come and get it. But y'all, upon these times, it's going to be Jeremiah 30. This going to be Jacob's trouble. This going to be a problem on the earth, but he said he should be saved out of it if we just keep the faith. We see it coming. It has to happen. Y'all, we see what's happening in the world today. We see the way the world is changing. The biggest homosexual parade in the world is in Tel Aviv. Everything we just read about her, Old Jerusalem. Look, it's been trampled upon by the Gentiles.
Yeah.
Let's kick it. So y'all, we have to understand this place we start off in Isaiah 2. This is what it's become like now. But we got to return there, but that means it's going to be cleaned up. We ain't going back to mix in with that type of behavior and try to clean it out.
No.
Because you ain't got no power or weapons to deal with what's going on over there. We had a crew over there for over 40 years, and they ain't moved from their location yet, talking nothing. Let's read some more. You know why? Because can't nobody over there have weapons but them. The best weapon you can have is a homemade shank. Enough to where you can slip it out of your sleeve and it be in your hand. But that means close quarter contact. You can't shank from a distance.
Yeah, you can't be no punk with that one.
So y'all have to understand the lock that they have on our homeland. Not only do they the only ones with the M16s, and they the only ones on planet Earth that do not have to record how many nuclear warheads they got. Everybody else missed it. We ain't telling y'all nothing. Come find out. Let's get some more.
Where you want to go, bro?
We're going right to now Micah chapter 4. And what we establishing, y'all, is this location and who this rock is. Y'all, but this rock has been around a long time because it's been established. When something is established, it lasts a long time. And this been lasting supernaturally, y'all. This ain't no equipment you get from Home Depot and rock built off of that. You're going to have to keep patching that up. And see, we keep talking about the last days, y'all. There's a lot of things come with the last day. There's wars, there's rumors of war. There's Matthew 24:12, the love of many shall wax cold.
Yep.
If y'all don't understand what this means that those who say they love the law, they become enemies. Look, all of what's happening got to happen. If this part gonna happen, this prophecy can't be moved out of the way. You got to look at that and say, I wonder if this time too. Or we in them days, if you're saying we in them days, all that get included. You don't get to push that back and say, well, we ain't gonna deal with it. You deal with it from a higher conscious and spiritual perspective so that you be armored up and don't be found wanting, y'all. And if we keep running back to Mount Sinai, There was law before Mount Sinai. You're going to keep eating and feeding off of seconds. And y'all know what seconds like. You go back and nibble after you've been full. If you full, you don't have to go back for seconds, do you? Unless you're a glutton.
Right.
Then you keep running back for seconds.
It's
and
like
you keep eating things that's, just taking it over the top. Basically, you got some 70 munchies working. Some of y'all are too young to understand about the 70 munchies. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's just like you said in that Matthew, man. You see the signs, and it says, because iniquities shall abound.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, people looking at sin just like it's the thing to do now.
It's the thing to do.
The love of many shall wax cold. So when people choose a sin over righteousness, and it's become the thing to do, and all of these homosexuals and transsexuals and Bruce Jenner is now Caitlyn, and all of this is just our everyday existence. We look at our little brothers in these skinny jeans, and they say I'm bisexual. You can't be bisexual if you lay with a man, then you're a fag.
Right.
You understand that? Yeah. And the scripture tells you how you're supposed to be dealt with.
Right.
But it's become the norm, man. And I mean, everything on TV is inundated with homosexuality, regardless to what it is you're looking at. It's the teller of visions, man. It's telling you what you should be thinking and what you have to accept, because you can't even speak out against these faggots these days without some sort of repercussion. They make you accept that. And then the faggots and the bulldagger dykes, they put it in your face and kind of tease you with it.
Right. Tell us how you really feel.
Right.
Tell us how you really feel.
Because I'm like, back in our day, man, we wasn't having that in the neighborhood.
No,
right? You understand? You get dealt with.
Right.
But now
you get chased. Yeah. But,
you get your ass whipped in all
right,
that.
But what happened is
chased and caught is what you got.
No doubt about it. And they beat you up like they just did the boy from Empire. Yeah. But y'all, it's so many more that's gonna be involved with this too. Because you have to understand it's all spiritual in nature. It starts from the top, so it does include whoremongering.
Right.
It includes adultery. It includes thievery. Stealing. It's a wonder why stealing and adultery is right next to each other. Also with killing. We got murder, y'all, that's way above homosexuality. Do y'all understand how many people, how many people are getting killed right now in Chicago that we're killing our own? Y'all, that sin is way greater, because that sin, like you're saying, we would chase you out of the neighborhood, and sometimes if you landed too many blows, you may put somebody to death. So it's all of that that come with it, y'all, that's going to be at a high level, y'all. We're going to see killing like we ain't never seen before. I'm talking about drive-by shootings with babies in the car.
Yeah.
Now, since when do we shoot at a funeral?
Right.
That's the normal.
See, this has become norm. Scrapping at a funeral, drive-bys at a funeral. So you giving your last goodbyes, and you become your last goodbye.
Yeah.
Shooting at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Children around, and they're blasting like they don't see them. Y'all, all of this is included. We just have to understand what bro is speaking about is going to be the front runner.
Yeah.
It has to be something that stands out to you, that takes it to another level, so you pinpoint, are we in the time of Noah?
Yeah.
Are we in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah.
Are we right there? That's the kickoff point. But then it go on to say, and craft shall prosper. Now, y'all, we got witchcraft gonna happen at a supernatural level.
Look at what's on TV.
And when witchcraft get behind sexuality, you move into another level, y'all. Y'all, we're talking about a dangerous level now, because it's gonna start up here. And once supernatural wickedness start up here, there's no end for it.
Right.
Got a test for the men of Israel. Oh, lasciviousness moving to another level in here. What's this? Get your mind out the gutter. It's just testing bath water. Think of anything else. You already in lasciviousness. It starts here.
That's how easy it
Before it
is.
moves here.
That's how easy it is.
Yes, sir. Let's read them up.
Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Who got questions? Sis, go ahead, sis.
When I asked a couple of, people still involved in church, and I say it's like the days of Noah, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, they like, yeah. I said, do you know what that is? They say, no.
See, they don't know because you haven't been told what that is because they don't teach judgment. See, that was judgment that happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. That was judgment that happened to us. So when you are not taught judgment, they have no clue what you're talking about because they have to accept it as judgment.
So that means they really can't expound or talk about what's going on in the world today because they don't know.
They don't understand judgment of the Lord. They understand him as a rock to say he don't care what you do, you're forgiven. And he ain't gonna even question you on it. You like to have your way with children? Oh, come on. Well, that's a problem with what he say when he grabbed a little child and say, this is what the kingdom is like. Y'all, that's what he did. What's baby girl name? The baby girl? Shemaiah? Sariah? Sariah. Such is the kingdom, y'all.
Yeah.
If you ain't thinking like she's thinking, pure innocence, there's no thought that she coming down here looking at me or you as anything but people. That's the kingdom.
That's right.
If your mind ain't like that in the sense of an adult with a pure innocence, you wasting your time thinking you're going to be hanging around the Messiah. It's an afterthought. You fooling yourself. If we could think like we thinking now, and see, most people can't see your thoughts or discern them. It's until you put your hands on your movement that we start to discern. But the Messiah say, I'm going to judge how you thought it out first. When it first popped into your mind, and then did you say, get thee behind me, Satan? Or did you say, I'm going to watch this go through? And then I'm going to start keep dwelling on what I was thinking about. That's what happens, y'all. So we're getting back to controlling it up here. And you tell him, if you resist the devil, what will he do?
Flee.
You got to let him flee here. Going to another land of location and you ain't fled here, then that means you just taking that same mindset to another body of land. You're going to do the same thing. This is why he telling you when you get to Mount Zion, I'm clearing all that out. Ain't no more weapons of war, pruning hooks and nothing like that. So if you think that that's what's going to be happening in the kingdom, you wasting your time. That's going to be taken care of immediately, within an hour. 1 hour, we say, for America. 1 hour. So what the other nations got coming? And this the superpower. Let's get some more.
We'll be reading in the book of Micah, starting in verse 4 at chapter 1. I mean, chapter 4, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
I know it was in there somewhere. All right. Everybody there? Let's get some understanding. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it.
So we still got, there's two witnesses now. We got the mountain exceed every other nation on earth. They have to get down with this program. The Most High ain't getting down with nobody else's program. Like Benjamin Carter, they said he was the Messiah, but he introduced Farrakhan like this. Look at this. Just Google the 2002 Million Man March and look who introduces Farrakhan. Now he claims he's the Messiah and he's introducing a philosophy. What kind of sense do that make? This supposed to be the rock of your salvation, and he calls somebody that thinks about things like this, and that could be a good point. He's tied up into Mars Hill. Acts 17 chapter, he introduced that above himself. So what do you think that do to the people that's in Demona calling him Hamashiach, Hamashiach? So who is the Hamashiach? He pointed to him in his mind, Farrakhan. Let's get some more. Where we at? Slow out.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, and to the house of the power of Jacob.
Yes, sir.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion.
Where shall the law go forth?
Of Zion.
See, y'all, so we keep reading future prophecies after Mount Sinai that the law has to come forth from Jerusalem. Y'all, if anybody keeps sneaking you back into Mount Sinai, it's a problem. They putting you back into basic training, into a war that's already going on. If you ain't been trained up by now, this war is too great for you. This is spiritual war. This is conscious war that the Most High let you see things before you walk into danger. Go get some more.
And the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
From where?
Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
Yes.
and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Neither shall they do what?
Learn war anymore.
See, if you got in your mind that you're going to be warring with a nation in the kingdom, you're going to the wrong kingdom. That's going to be handled before you get there so you can have some peace times. How you want to be in everlasting and you hear the horn blow? Got to go fight again and what? I mean, this peace time, ain't it? Y'all, the nations are so scared right now that they have what's called a Cold War. We have to not talk about it because the outcome is nuclear. Ain't gonna be what you got nuclear for. You think it's gonna be hand to hand? You think it's gonna be M16 against F-16? Or is this gonna be a nuclear war? They got nuclear warheads in a space station 125 miles straight up, loaded with nuclear warheads. So they rain them down on you. What a radar gonna do with that? Let's get some more.
We're in verse 4.
Yeah.
But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid.
Yo, ain't that what you want? Ain't that what we want?
I ain't scared.
Sitting under your vine and your fig tree and none make you afraid because you at rest. Let's get some more.
For the mouth of the Most High of hosts hath spoken it. For all people will walk every one in the name of his God. And we will walk in the name of the Master, our Elohim, forever and ever.
How long?
Forever and ever.
And see, those who gonna walk in the name of their God gonna be with him because you're gonna be with Lucifer. You ain't gonna be around here. You'll be with who's locked up for 1,000 years because first the false prophet and the Antichrist get through in the lake of fire. And all of them that ride with him, that ain't after the millennial war. I mean, after the millennial reign. That's before it happens that they get tossed into there. So you be in there like we just read, and no idols gonna be crushed up. So you gonna be with your gods.
That's right.
You be able to call on them in the lake of fire.
Yeah.
When you see him fanning like this, you're gonna be like, my God, I do. How he gonna cool you off? Psalm 125.
You done with that?
What for you there?
At verse 5, we got 5 more.
It's just one. I'm tripping. I'm at the wrong place.
Go ahead, you read down. Go read down to 8 or where you want to stop at.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
Okay. All right.
Where you want to go?
Y'all read the rest of that. We're going to Psalm 125th Psalm. Y'all read all the rest of that Micah for your own understanding. We just got a few scripts to go through today. And I want to get some understanding of y'all, our rock.
Is he ready for the children for the Passover rehearsal?
Children, y'all ready for the Passover rehearsal? We want you sharp. No biting on your fingernails. We want you sharp.
Yeah, that's right. Apply that pressure.
Yes, sir.
Really going back there? They going back? I see a few shorties still left around. I guess they ain't in it. Y'all good? Okay. Psalm 125. Let's talk about this rock, y'all, about this mountain. Y'all, if we don't see the Messiah as a mountain and we keep putting carnal, fleshly men in front of us to look at them like they mountains, y'all, we wasting our time. Y'all, it's just a waste of time. They can't do nothing. They ain't got no power. I ain't got no power, dude. What you gonna look to me for? Swat run up in here, what I'm gonna do but this too? Don't shoot. Let's read.
Psalms 125, verse 1. They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion.
What shall they be as?
As Mount Zion.
See, when you trust in, this is what you're going to be like, the strongest mountain on planet Earth. Then we just read about this mountain, how powerful it was. All other mountains going to be beneath it. So it tells you when you trust in him, you shall be like that one. Not this lesser stuff. What we going to lesser for? Why would I call a man reverend or rabbi or master? For what?
For nothing.
We wasting our time, ain't we?
His flesh will lead you astray,
Let's get some others.
which cannot be removed, but abideth forever.
How long?
Forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is around about his people from henceforth, even forever. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity.
Unless the righteous put forth their hands to do iniquity, then he gonna have his way with it. But if you trust in the Most High, if you trust in the King that was given to us to reign over us, you in safekeeping. Let's get some more.
Verse 4. Do good, O Elohim, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts.
See, this is a problem for any doctrine talking about the law is done away with. How you gonna do good? What is good at that point if the law is done away with?
Right.
What is good but what you're talking about, what you was talking about? Running rampant through Jerusalem with butt-out jeans on and dog collar around children. That's in the Holy Land right now. So what is good if there's no law? Romans 4:15, where there's no law, there's no sin.
That's right.
That's why they don't talk judgment or resurrection. Because they're saying there's no law, so I can't be a sinner. The law was nailed to the cross. So that means we can get buck wild?
Empty them pockets.
Right. When the plate get to me in church, do I then head out the door? Oh, looks like a good collection there.
The Lord has seen my blessing.
Wait, ain't no. You put that money there. You what? I'm what? What am I doing putting this money in my pocket? Say it. They ain't gonna say it. They ain't gonna say you stealing, breaking the law.
No, they're going to catch you out in the hallway.
Yeah, they will. I won't mind. Let's read some more.
Verse 5. As for such as turn aside unto their crooked ways.
Into what kind of way?
Unto their crooked ways.
Off the path. Go ahead.
The Elohim shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel.
So we see here once again, if you want to be like this mountain or be a part of this mountain, you got to understand what this mountain is doing and what it's talking about to be on solid foundation. Or it's like a man running up a sand dune hill. When is it? A 90-year-old man trying to run up a hill made out of sand, is he ever going to get past 2 feet? He old and his feet can't really grip like it was. A young man could probably start and get up 20 feet before he slide back down. But he say any other rock is like an old man, 90 years old, trying to climb up a sand dune hill. Y'all, your chances are better hitting Powerball 10 times in the same week than that happening. Go ahead, sister.
That word that you're looking at right there for peace is like name. That's shalom, which means that soundness, safety.
Yeah.
Everything that we need.
Everything we need.
So that's peace for us. So we're more in that instance will be just as if you will a 20-year-old.
Right.
With strength.
With strength and power. Absolutely, sis. And look, and you said that safety and shelter. Everybody in here got pistols everywhere. One over the door in case they come through this way. See, if a burglar come through here, I want to catch him off guard. I got the 9 right here. And if he dare come through my baby daughter's window, I got that M16 here right behind the dresser. I moves it like this. How you gonna ever have comfort in sleep, waiting on your weaponry that you have to get to stop an intruder? And you think this gonna be in a kingdom? You want a kingdom like that? What you got, Sister D?
Sometimes that doesn't work because remember the lady in Florida in the bathtub?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, she in the tub and the gun right where they standing. Now the only chance she got is to hope lasciviousness is all over and they lose what they there for. Cause it can happen. Oh, y'all gotta look at the show that's on now. For my man.
What is that?
Women, young women who kill for their man. Young girls coming up innocent, then they get involved with some 18, 19 years old with 40 years put on their back. Talking about for my man. Once he said we're gonna go rob these people, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna do what you like. That's a problem, y'all. This starts up here. This is first spiritual in nature because she knows, well, this gonna be the last romp because he going to penitentiary for life and not a death penalty, and I'm going away from this the last romp. Is that what it's worth? The last romp? Let's read some more. Where we at? We done with that?
Yeah, where you want to go?
Let's go to Exodus 24:12 because, Shalom, this I want to show y'all that mount before Mount of Aaron, where we got our basic training from. Y'all have to understand we got our basic training from there, but we can't keep running back to basic training.
Right.
It's like going back to pre-prim, as my older parents used to say, pre-prim, that was before kindergarten. What do we look like going back to pre-prim? What you look like sitting up in one of them little tight desks and you just be. That's what you're going to look like. Exodus 24:12. Let's go.
We there? Exodus chapter 24, verse 12.
Here's some more pages. Flip. Y'all, and this is just to understand this rock. And like y'all, before the Most High allow you into the mountain, he's going to test that faith. So we're going to hit a little bit of Ezekiel 28:12 because what we're showing here is both indications or both events that happened at that time. One for this one, how we did. And he said, the coming out of this one going to be the same way when you get to this mountain. So we have to understand that we're not in the mountain behind when we should be at this mountain. Y'all, being at the wrong location is terrible, ain't it? Huh? You ever been at the wrong event? And look at your ticket. We had a brother last year. He said, man, ain't nobody up here. I say, up where? He said, at the Passover. I said, the Passover tomorrow, which was a good thing for him. It was better that it wasn't 3 days later.
Right.
But better to be early than to be late. Yeah.
We're going to Exodus, right?
Yeah, we're going to Exodus 24:12.
And then Ezekiel.
Then we're going to, no, we're going to Numbers 20.
Okay.
Number
I
20.
know you said
Yeah.
Ezekiel 28.
Yes, sir, we're going to hit that Ezekiel 20. We're going to hit after that. Because what we want to do is line up the schoolmaster, y'all, that the doctrine of Christianity keeps running to, and they know it's done away with. Y'all, see, that's the part we have to be in and observe. they're true when we're saying it's done away. It's not the laws, it's the priesthood. That's what they're not getting the understanding of. The laws stand. The laws were before Mount Sinai. What was Cain charged with? What was the angels charged with? That left they what? Curse and stand. What was Adam and Eve charged with? We know. They got curses put on them. Everlasting curses till the Messiah come and straighten it out. So we know law was there. Did Abraham have on fringes? Huh? Anybody? Because fringes was made when a man did what? Went out and picked up sticks after he was told not to. So y'all, we got to make sure that ain't nothing wrong with our customs and different things like that, but we have to know what was before that. The law was before you had to be made to obey. That's what you do with children. You have to keep posting signs for them. We got to keep posting signs. The signs got to finally get to here where we look at each other and you can make eye contact and you know what the deal is, how we got to move. If you have to keep warning them about the wicked, you're going to have to keep warning them when to fight. You got to know when you're ready in this spiritual war. You just got to look at your brother and say, it's time to fight. You got to look at him, and he knows what time it is. Like Eddie Murphy looked at Arsenio Hall when, what's the boy named Samuel Jackson was coming to America. Boom, shot through the ceiling. Get the money out. They didn't say nothing. They just looked at each other. He started unscrewing his weapon. If we ain't to that point, you're going to have to start quoting scripture. Soon as trouble starts, thou shalt pick up thy sword and thou shalt swing it. And he gonna like, is that time? Oh, okay. If you gotta read scripture for that, it's gonna be a problem. Let's get it.
Exodus chapter 24, verse 12. And the Elohim said unto Moses, come up to me unto the mount.
What he asked him to do?
Come up to me unto the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his ministers Joshua, and Moses, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up unto the mount of Yahweh, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let them come unto them.
So we can hold that. What Moses was speaking of at this time, or what the scripture is speaking of, the Most High called him up to that mountain. What is that mountain called? Sinai, right? Do you know right now the Turkish government over there talking about, and that prince, that Saudi prince come out bulldozing that mountain down and turning it into condos?
Putting some condos there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we ain't worried about them turning into condos because it's not the mountain that we have to return to. But he's going to pull a lot of them to it. Guess what, y'all? Condos in Mount Sinai. There you go, chasing it. No, it's like returning back to Egypt.
Yeah, they turned it into money.
You can't return back to Mount Sinai. It ain't written for the future. Where we at? You can finish that. We can hold on, y'all. Let's get into Numbers 20 and 24, y'all. And this is because when he call you up to a mountain, the punishment starts at the mountain too, before you get let in. Just like we're going to hit it Ezekiel 20 and 33, so it's going to be the same thing that's happening here. So, y'all, the chaff is growing up with the wheat. He's going to separate it all at the end, but that don't mean the chaff and wheat mixed together. He said, don't worry about it. He said, let it grow up together. He said, but we ain't worried about trying to get too busy with that. Y'all stay on y'all course, and I'll straighten this matter out at the end. But he didn't say mix it. He said they're going to grow up together. You are in the world, but you are not what?
Of the world.
Of the world. Y'all, we growing up, it ain't just brethren, y'all. It's all the chaff that's around us. TV. What you going to watch on TV today? What can you watch? The cartoons are through.
Yeah.
If your children ever get a hold of the remote control and flip on Mr. Pickles, it's gonna be trouble. It's gonna be trouble. And I'm just telling you, parents, go out there and look up Mr. Pickles before your children get to him, so you will know if you hear him come out. Mama, can I go watch Mr. Pickles? Go on, get I'm on the phone. You better make sure.
Yeah.
What else you gonna watch? Is homosexuality in everything you watch? How about football? Tight pants and a slap on the rear when you make a good play. How about this? Boy, you cut him with that scripture.
Oh, man.
Good scripture work. Good scripture work. Hey, damn, boy.
Oh, no.
Will you?
No.
What can you watch on TV? So y'all, we of the world. We in the world, but we're not of the world, I should say.
Those are terrible demonstrations.
Hey, well look, it's only because you'll try to separate what you can watch.
Yeah.
Iniquity already, it's in everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's not a show you gonna turn on that it ain't in this.
Your finger gonna get tired of.
So your only choice is to be free of it. It's like our diet. You ain't gonna be clean if you eat fast food, because you know what kind of grill they put on. They don't bring out the Hebrew grill when you come in. I don't care because you come in with your friend. Ain't no bells ringing. Ding, ling, 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 ling. They go in the house. They go in the house. And they roll out a special grill. What are you ordering today? Give me the chicken, and you know what not to put on it. You can order your pizza, but you think they're gonna cook it by itself? What else gonna be in the oven with it?
Meat lover, baby.
But give me some, right quick before we move on, give me some Mark 16. Yo, it's a protection. Go ahead, sis.
They've been known to set pork in the chicken Jesus.
Yes. Yo, look, anything that you buy at the marketplace, how do you trust whatever it is? You almost forced to grow it yourself, manufacture it yourself. The only problem, all of us are living in apartments.
I had some plain
Unless you
fried
get the
rice
landlord to
some
give you some
plain
land.
fried
What you
rice.
have?
And it had a piece of ham in it.
Boy, boy.
And I seen that with the first spoon. It's like I
Boy.
couldn't even eat no more.
You wasn't playing.
No, it wasn't
Boy,
plain
now
at all no more.
Now you got the watery throat like you want to throw up. You don't want to swallow down, but you don't feel like throwing up right now. Throwing up is a task, y'all. Throwing up ruptures up your esophagus with acid and different things. Then it makes your what is it, sodaplex?
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Solar.
It make this sore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave him alone.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what they said. We go to work for special.
I can't afford the points at work to take off.
Right. Boy, the way they be talking and hollering you, boy, if you ain't got a filter, they'll make you go off on them.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole language is screaming and hollering. You order special? You're like, man, I ain't order no pork. Yes, you did. You know, but they're talking normal. They just aggressive like that. Whatever you order, they holler at them. And they holler, you like, what the hell is going on?
The mad language.
Where we at, bro? Numbers 20, verse 24.
No, you said you Mark.
Yeah, give me that Mark. Give me that Mark real quick. 16th chapter. And I just want to hit this, y'all, because we are behind the 8 ball. Y'all, that's why we got to have faith in Hamashiach, and we got to have faith in his word that he said, if you order what's on the list, yes, there's all avenues of cleaning this dying flesh up. But y'all, there's one thing we still got to understand and must understand. Death and hell are cast in the lake of fire after Satan is let loose.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that it's going to be around for a while. Death is. If you live 200, guess what's still at the door? How about 300? How about the oldest man that ever lived on the earth? 969 years, but guess what knocked on his door?
Death.
Hit that, probably that Mark 16 chapter. Give me right to where, if you eat any of these things, or any of these things coming from you, run that. 16:16. Let's back it up.
14.
You can back it up to 14.
Somebody will get that?
I got it. All right, Mark chapter 16, verse 14. Afterward, he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat.
What did they sit at?
At meat.
Uh-huh.
And upbraided them with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen.
So he going off on the disciples because they didn't believe that Mary and Martha had seen him. So he going off on the disciples, upbraiding them about their unbelief. Wait a minute, I told y'all did miracles and y'all thought I wasn't coming back, huh? Boy. That's terrible. Y'all know what y'all were able to do. And y'all thought that task was too hard for me? Y'all saw what I did when Peter cut off that boy's ear. You saw what I did with the storm. You saw the blind man. And yet, me coming out of that tomb was too much for you. I told you, everything is based on me coming out of that tomb. How you ain't gonna believe this at the end? Let's get some more. What it say?
Verse 15. And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
Hey, Elijah, hold on. John, that water running on for you, would you? Yeah, it's on one of them.
No,
Oh, it's not. Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Verse 16. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved.
Shall be.
But he that believeth not shall be damned.
He shall believe it not shall be what?
Damned.
See, that part of chaff you can't hang with because it's what?
Damned.
Who hangs around with damnness? I mean, would you just, if you go to speak at a prison, would you say, lock me in the cell with somebody on the death row? I believe I can talk to him and get him straight. Just close the cell door. Right. What has he got to lose? Let's read some more.
Verse 16 again. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe.
See, it ain't going to follow in unbelief. This is what we have to understand. These signs will not follow in unbelief. Let's read.
In my name shall they cast out devils.
What they going to do?
Cast out devils.
Uh-huh.
They shall speak with new tongues.
Right.
They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
See, so all of these things will follow a believer because you're going to get caught up one way or another unless you are prepared to deal with what everything that goes in your body yourself. Can get quite expensive. Huh? Y'all know it can get quite expensive, especially if you're ordering it off the net. If you got to go to the store, you got to go out to the stores that make sure it's free of cost, so to speak. That's travel time. That's preparation time. It can get long and you may find yourself, hell, just make a right turn in the Taco Bell. Give me the chicken taco. And going on out. And you know you have to deal with the extra that comes with a flat grill. Every flat grill cooks all of the poison back into the meat.
Yes.
That's why we were told to roast your meat with fire, because everything falls where?
Into the
That's
fire.
how slaves stayed slim on the plantation. You ever seen a fat slave? Who got a picture of a fat slave? I'm talking about all the pork they ate. She was in the house.
Yeah.
She was a taster. But I'm talking about working them fields. And that's all you got was scraps of pork, but you were lean, fit, and trim. Not saying that you were surviving that, but it didn't have time to settle in because work will release them toxins from your body. As well as a perfect diet, but work make you sweat. And when you sweat, what happens? Right. Right. Y'all, underarm stank ain't just, that's toxin coming out from up under your arm. You smell that. And if that yellow stain is on your leather jacket, you been sweating too hard. Let's get some more, y'all.
Better take that leather off.
Right. That was it. Read on down to 20. Let's read on down to 26 and get right there quick.
Verse 19. So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God.
Where you sit at?
On the right hand of God. And they went forth and preached everywhere, the Lord working with them and confirming the word with signs following. Amen.
With signs following, y'all. So when we talk about this Holy Spirit and we talk about following it, there's going to be a sign, y'all. A lot of times miracles in our life, we just don't even pay attention to it. We just don't even look at the miracles that's happening around us because we take them at happenstance. If you close your eyes on a snowy road and you feel the car spinning around like you out of Six Flags on Tom Twisted and you open your eyes up and you straight, do you think that's happenstance? You know it was a hand there that protected that spent that car back straight. Your only problem is how you going to get your underwear out of your rear end. Close call. Let's get some more. Where we at? How you guys doing, sis?
Another translation, it says that blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord. Blessed is the man who is elevated. But the key is totally persuaded.
Yeah.
Unmovable.
Unmovable.
Steadfast.
On the rock.
On the rock.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay. But if you sway in any way, you fall off.
You're going to fall off. Y'all, it's like you ain't never been on a surfboard. Don't get on it till you learn how, because you're going to fall off, ain't you? If you're on that log rolling, you're going to fall off if you don't have solid footing. Anything that's promoting non-solid footing, if that's a word. Okay, he said no. But unbalanced.
Right.
Okay, thank you. You're going to fall off. So make sure you're on the right balance beam. Your mind got to be focused like a gymnast. And I'm talking about this for fellas. If you do a backwards flip on that beam,
Oh no.
you got to be focused, don't you, as a man? Because you know that's going to be 10 times worse than your foot slipping off a bike pedal. Because you up higher. And men know foot that slipped off a bike pedal. It's not fun. And believe me, you don't want to be on any of them shows, Jackass or none of them, when you fall off of that. Because that's your word. That's your bond, that area. That's your loin where truth must abide. You can't just play Russian roulette with that like you see on these shows where they putting firecrackers in there. Why do you think they always do it right in there? I'll put a bottle rocket, a Roman candle, just, oh. Y'all done seen it. Yeah, we're going to Numbers chapter 20, verse 24. Y'all, and this is that mount that they had to go up to be disciplined for disobedience, y'all. Because the Lord don't forget nothing. He said, every idle word that you speak, every idle word shall be brought into judgment. You got to make sure your words are not idle. And what that means is words that will lead to idolatry. And I've been talking about self-worship. And I've been worshiping somebody else. Have those been idle words coming out of my mouth? Because he's going to check everything. And he's going to check when the thought popped in your mind. Not the after event. He don't deal with that. Everywhere we see the Messiah, he say, as it was in the what? The beginning. Every subject matter you do, you have to go back to the beginning. You can't start at sloppy seconds. It's going to be a problem. Everybody say, hold it. Let's go back to the beginning. And if the beginning means kindergarten, we're going to have to go back there. We're going to have to see what your behavior was in kindergarten. This lasciviousness, what were you doing in kindergarten? Did you have to sleep in a separate room during that time at 5 years old? This may be an old trait. Let's get it.
Numbers chapter 20.
You can start 22, bro.
Numbers chapter 20, verse 22. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor.
To what mountain?
Mount Hor. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah.
See, so most people think that was just Moses couldn't go across the promised land. Aaron died first with the same punishment because our Lord is fair in his judgment. Both of them was there when he struck the rock, wasn't it? He said, both y'all, what's this wheat stuff? You strike the rock like that? And this is the waters of Meribah, or the waters of strife, that where that took place at. And here Aaron is told, partner, you owe for that. Now, y'all think about that. He's like, could have got him on the golden calf. But the only reason for that, because he's a just God, Aaron said, they threatened to kill me. They said, if you don't make a God for us, partner, we about to get busy with you. And Aaron went to fashion. Give me more gold. Somebody standing over you with a stick just like this, and you fashion. And when Moses came back down, he's like, man, what's that? He's like, man, you know these crazy niggas. Man, what was I gonna do? You was gone. He's like, you had 70 of the elders with you, I told you.
Them the ones that was saying.
Yeah. Boy. Yo, and y'all think about this. This is all after we came out of Egypt and through the Red Sea. Saw all them miracles. And y'all, we right at the door, and faith is gone at the end. Let's get some more.
Verse 25.
What it say?
Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up onto Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son.
This is a court martial. He court martialed Aaron. Now, y'all think about the Most High don't play. Shannon? What's up, baby girl? That's my niece, y'all. Yeah. Okay. So he court-martialed Aaron, stripped him out of all his priestly garments, just tore him off of him, put him on his son. He don't deserve to wear these.
Right.
All that priestly tabernacle work, all of what he was putting down and standing up before Pharaoh. It came down to this, y'all. That's why he said you must endure to the end. And I don't forget nothing. I got what I'm going to put y'all to death about. Just like when you have a near-death experience. What flashes past your face, whoever that had one that almost drowned or somebody killed him? Everything that could have you in judgment being thrown in the lake of fire, you mentioned to people. Why don't you mention the good stuff that happened to you? Man, I saw when we stole that car. And then when I saw we climbed through Mr. Johnson's window and took his watch, and then you are seeing everything that gives you a second chance to come back here and get it right. That's what flashed across your face in a moment's notice. The next thing you know, you coughing up water and you see life around you again. Let's get some more.
Verse 26 again. And strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, and shall die there. And Moses did as the Lord commanded. And they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there in the top of the mount. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount.
So now I want y'all to think about this. You know, you going to the, basically, you got the death penalty at this point. But he said, I got to kill your flesh, but you going to be where you need to be. But I got to take care of you so the congregation don't know I play favorites. If I'm doing it to you two, they going to get in line. No respect of person. Get out of them clothes. You can't come to me with them clothes on, them priestly garments. You're going to come to me with them on, with all that righteousness on, and you did this. You played me. You and Moses played the Father and the Messiah when you struck that rock. That's what y'all played. And if we let anybody come in here and you play that game or let them be that to you, it's going to be the same court-martialing going on. Let's read some more. What else say that last verse?
Verse 29.
What it say?
And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel.
So they knew Aaron dead. And what is he dead for? See, this eliminates you looking at Aaron as the Messiah, because he died for a transgression. What Samson died for? A transgression, right? Every one of them died for transgression. Because the wages of sin is what?
Death.
The Messiah laid down his life. Two totally different things. And if we lay down our life for the Messiah, meaning we will stand fast, if it costs us our life, then we on solid foundation. Because how long you gonna live in wickedness? But what's prompted? How long you think wickedness can? You think they can conjure up 200 more years? You think a wizard could be doing like, oh yeah, I'm seeing you, boy. You got triple great grandchildren. Let me conjure some. Wow, boy, I'm seeing you got a beard. You ain't never your beard long as Ezra's now. I'm seeing. Oh. No, yo, they ain't gonna be able to conjure up life for you. They're trying it now with AI and all of this. They want you to get comfortable, and they're trying to create an individual that cannot be judged. But AI is judging you because they go to AI to see your crimes, don't they? Pull up that laptop and let's see what he's been thinking. Oh, how to kill a man. Oh, a receipt from Walgreens online. Oh, and he used this credit card. You see how it works, y'all? We eliminate money. You can't make transactions but by this. So where you gonna get your supply to do dirt? Right. They track it. Right. And if you think this on this level tracking, what is the Most High doing? Tracking every idle word. Y'all, we got to get this correct up here first. You got to resist the devil up here. When it gets here, it's too late, y'all. It's far too late when it gets to your hands. You can't blame your hands because now you trusted in flesh versus the law of the spirit. Get rid of it up here. Let's read some more. Where we at? You finished that? Yeah, we're going to Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. And y'all, we're going to see here again of coming up to the mount as the second, after we leave this second wilderness, which is the wilderness of the world, because all 12 tribes was together then when we came out of Egypt. 12 tribes are scattered abroad right now. So he said, I'm going to gather you from all over and bring you to the location. And the location ain't going to be Mount Sinai. Yo, and this is no disrespect to anything Moses or Aaron did. We're going to get to that, and we're going to get some good understanding of that. He called it that glory. It was that glory. But there's a different glory that's reigning supreme right now. If you go back to old glory, it's like one of my favorite movies, I'm going to Get You Sucker, when Fly Guy was reminiscing when he was out there on the block. That's old glory. You ain't gonna never walk with fish in your shoes again. We already walked through the Red Sea. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Ezekiel.
What'd you say, Elijah?
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand,
What kind of hand?
a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
So he said, I'm going to gather you whooping rear end. That's how I'm going to gather you, and I'm going to be destroying at the same time. With a stretched out arm and a mighty hand, I'm going to be working what I promised y'all I was going to do to these nations who came up against y'all. With a mighty hand while I'm gathering you at the same time. It's like when you see a crowd of children finna attack you at school and your parents show up, they're like, get in the car.
Right.
And they looking, yeah, you call his dad. Yeah, we call our dad. Like we calling on him now. Let's get some more.
Verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
The wilderness of what?
The people.
See, it ain't the wilderness of Kadesh or the wilderness of Sinai. There's a wilderness of people. That means there's people where there's growth of things growing like weeds out of concrete. Wilderness, where there's no established landmass, so to speak. I'm going to bring you out of the wilderness of the people where all these crazy doctrines going on. Everything's flying across YouTube, the super information highway. I'm going to bring you from amongst that. Let's read.
And there will I plead with you face to face.
And see, plead, he ain't going to be bad. You come on, man. Y'all do right, please. If y'all think the Messiah going to be doing that, how many of y'all pled guilty for any crime? The judge wasn't begging you. The judge was telling you your crimes, and because your attorney say this is far, I'm gonna go with you. That was a plea deal on Aaron. We're gonna let him into the kingdom, but he gonna be stripped right here in front of everybody. This is the plea deal you're gonna take. You're gonna go up there and you're gonna die. And they're gonna mourn for you 30 days. That's it. Because you know there's mourning periods, 30 days, 40 days, max out at 70 days. You keep crying about somebody dead past 70 days, he say, I will take your life from you. They're dead. After 70 days, they ain't been back. You know they ain't coming back. You got to quit crying at that point. He said, all grief will overtake you. Let's get some more. That was quick. They know their parts, don't they?
Verse 36.
What you got, Ariel?
They say, please, you're going to do what Isaiah 66:16.
Yes, sir. See, a plea is not asking you to do right at that moment. He's handing out charges. Like when you get a plea deal, do you know 80% of the Hebrews that's locked up are on plea deals? Please. The word, you have to say, yeah, I got some wrong in this. And you accept a deal that will give you a chance at life again. But it's going to be rough when you get out. You ain't be able to have a pistol. You can't do this. You can't do this, but you still have your life. And a living dog is better than a what? Yeah. Let's read some more.
Verse 36.
What it say?
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt.
See, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness. And what pleading was that? All y'all on the side of the Lord, come over here. And all y'all that like this tomfoolery and causing people to err, stay where you at. Watch the power of the Lord. All of a sudden, something moved and sand moved, and the next thing you know, a hole opened up and covered up. It wasn't so you can go look down and ain't no rope gonna reach down there. It wasn't none of that. It covered up. I'm talking about covered up where you no trace, no smell, no nothing. Like they were never there. And guess what? They're going to be resurrected from that grave to face judgment. They ain't faced judgment yet. They got the punishment of death that's promised to every man. Just like Aaron did on that mountain. That's not judgment, though. But the Most High ain't playing with us, y'all. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 36. like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord God. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels.
Who we gonna purge out?
The rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, go ye, serve everyone his idols, and hereafter also, if you will not hearken unto me.
He said, if you ain't gonna listen to me, go on play with your idols. Ain't no need you wasting time. Go play with your idols. Don't play with me. Play with your idols. Let's get some more.
But pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. For in my holy mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel, saith the Lord God, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require of your offerings and the first fruits of your oblations with all your holy things.
See, it's a doctrine out here now talking about America is really the Holy Land in these last days. Yeah. And the Mississippi River was really the Nile River. So what was the mountain that Aaron was called up to? Was it the Cahokia Mountains? Or what else we got over in Illinois?
That's not a mountain, that's a hill.
Here. Yeah, that's a hill, yeah. So what else we got over here? In the Ozarks. A little bit, yeah. Or the Ozarks. So what is the mount, if y'all, but these last things, but we get here clear. He says, that's where you're going to be, in Jerusalem. Now, if they done fooled us in America, we really at home already, then it's a problem, man. Because we done left captivity, then what, Jerusalem, and we done came here and been captive. And still captive. It ain't making sense, y'all. When y'all understand things don't make sense, you have to let go of it. You can't keep hanging on to it when it don't make sense. It don't make sense to keep going back to Mount Sinai and listening to the law from that perspective. If you still on the Sabbath rest of that, and he keep telling you we going back to the beginning, that tells you to study the Sabbath from Genesis 2. The Lord worked 6 days, then he rested. Adam was brought into the garden on rest day. Did work stop? No, work kept going. You think the father just closed his eyes and went to sleep after he got through and was still like that the whole time? Still sleep? Or is he working? He's working, taking care of what you done work for and established. Like we work and establish things, then you have to rest from that labor of that. But you're going to have to make repairs. You're going to have to do things to keep that foundation strong. So sometimes you're going to find yourself doing things on the Sabbath to keep the foundation strong. But the Messiah did. He said, is it lawful for a man to heal on the Sabbath day? If you see somebody sick, do you wait till tomorrow? If you get a call from the doctor, y'all, it's getting close, y'all better get up here. And you got healing hands. Not me. Tell mama she gonna have to do whatever she can do to hang on. Because I'm not breaking the Sabbath. We need them healing hands. Not coming up there. So when that happens, y'all, then we don't understand the Sabbath like the Messiah did. When he healed, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath? Out here in this cold weather, right now, if somebody in here, mama call and say, I'm on the side of the highway. Mama. I told you about going out on the Sabbath, driving anyway, but you're going to have to stand out, sit out in that cold to class over. And what she said, Dad, you teaching? Yeah, he said 3:30. Lord have mercy, I'm going to be out in the 6. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 41.
What it say?
I will accept you with your sweet Savior when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered. And I will be sanctified in you before the heathen.
See, now you'll be sanctified because we done got rid of all of the drama in Israel. Now you'll be sanctified in the heat, and this way telling them, this who y'all gonna serve. This is the leftover. This is what come out of that. You're gonna serve, and this is what been made right. It's been sifted, and it's been found worthy. Let's read some more.
Verse 42. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for the which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways.
What we gonna do?
Remember your ways and all your doings, wherein ye have been defiled. And ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed.
See, he said you gonna remember. You're not gonna remember the problems of anybody else. So there's no, you wondering about if your mama, daddy, you don't see them, your brother or sister. You're not gonna have them on your mind. What you're gonna have on your mind is your bad behavior and how you made it across. Because you're gonna be showing you, I should have took your life right here when you was right here. I should have took your life when you was in this car over here, and when you climbed out of that window. And when you were stooped down behind this, I should have took your life then, but I spared you. And you're gonna loathe in yourself. Loathing don't mean you're gonna be thinking about it. I ought to be dead, like most of us say today. Look, I know there's a God because I ought to be dead.
Yes, sir.
What I did 3 weeks ago or whatever, I should be dead right now. He spared me for a reason. And you'll find out why he spared you from that. Let's read some more.
Verse 44. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have walked with you for my name's sake.
For what?
For my name's sake. Not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, saith the Lord God.
So we're going to hold her. So we see here both mountains that glory was had, and then glory, you passed another, but correction was handed down at mountains. And we see the same thing. I'm bringing you up to Mount Jerusalem, and I'm going to settle the score with you, Israel, before the nation. See, he have to settle the score with us before the nation, so the nations know. They be like, boy, will you look at this? He handling his own people. What you think they going to be doing? Give me some Romans 2:9 really quick. And then we're going to get right back on the rock of the Most High, y'all. We're going to get down into understanding, y'all, this faith is still priesthood bound. When you say you are priest of Hamashiach, you cannot let Mount Sinai or the teachings of the schoolmaster be dominant. You think you can sing the ABCs and ain't learned what an A is yet? All you know is the song. A, B, C, D. Won't you sing with me? Hey, hey. Now, point out a D, spell your name. D, that's a W. You know the song. You don't know your letters. Where we at, bro?
Romans chapter 2, verse 9.
What it say?
Who got it down here, man?
Who got it? Okay.
Book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 9. Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
Upon every what?
Every man. Every soul
of man. Go ahead.
That doeth evil. Of the Jew first.
Of the who first?
Of the Jew first. And also of the Gentile.
Yeah.
But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first.
To the who first?
The Jew first, and also the Gentile.
But you see how it started with tribulation and anguish first. Then you get a reward to the Jew first and then the Gentile. So this lets you know anybody in this. Same Paul in talking in Romans. So we know either Paul is the biggest contradictory artist on the planet, or we're not understanding the priesthoods. And when we get into these Corinthians, you're going to understand how to look at what priesthood you're in and how to manifest. If you keep charging people with crimes at Mount Sinai, you're in the wrong priesthood. They're not going to be charged for Aaron's ways. You ought to know Aaron's ways now. You ought to know the law from that perspective. You got to take this to another level. When your parents tell you to do something, don't they make a note and put it on the refrigerator? Once you start knowing the routine, they pull a note down. Why does the note have to still be up there? You know what you're supposed to do. When you get home from school, do your homework. We'll take that trash out first. Make up your own, and then get on your homework. Then you can watch TV. If you do like Nerve had me watching TV before all of that, there's an awakening at 1 o'clock in the morning with a Hot Wheel track. Get that trash out of my house. Didn't I tell you not to go? And see, I got right up. He took about 10 licks before it finally woke him up out of that sleep smiling. And he just hollered, get up and get that trash out. We walking out there covered up like this, throwing trash in the dumpster at 1 o'clock in the morning. Chose to watch Soul Train.
The hippies
Tripping time, yeah. What we got? You finished that?
Where you want it just down?
I just wanted that. You just in that Romans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just hold that. What you got?
Verse 11. Yeah.
Verse 11? Okay.
For there is no respect of person
Yes, sir.
with Yahweh.
Right.
See, there's no respect at first, and he started off with punishment before blessings. Just like we just read punishment before blessing before you go into Israel. Punishment, y'all done did wrong. You know you did wrong. Ain't no need you fooling yourself. Come clean and free yourself of wrongdoing, and you can get in here. But if you don't, he said it's the plea deal for you. No, it's like Luke 16. The rich man. Let me go back and tell my brothers about this place. Right? Look, if you pumping a doctrine of reincarnation, how he remembering he got brothers? See, you can't say you ain't supposed to remember. And then you got Luke 16 and this man dead already. It's the same man, ain't it? It ain't nobody else. And he remembering I got brothers. What did they tell him? Whatever that. No, they got the law and the prophets. Let them hear them, because if you go back from the dead, they ain't gonna believe it anyway. They didn't believe the Messiah. The disciples didn't believe it. Did we just read that? He upbraided them for their unbelief. The Messiah come back and the disciples didn't believe him. They trembling. What you think old Tupac come back now? What you waiting on Death Row 3 album to drop? Where we at?
That's it, ain't it?
Let's get it, y'all. Let's get a little bit of this Psalm 95, 1 through 5. And we're going to talk about this rock, y'all, this shelter.
Oh, Dawiyah said, what's up? Shalom.
Shalom, Dawiyah. It's Dawiyah out of New York, y'all. New York City. Shalom. Psalm 95, verse 1 through 5.
Psalm 95. Oh, come, let us sing unto the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation.
To the what?
To the rock of our salvation.
You got to learn how to make a joyful noise to your rock. You can't sing a joyful noise to nothing that can't help you. An idol can't help you. You can't make a joyful noise to nothing that needs you to carry it, to clean it off, to do all of that. If you sing into that, you sadly mistaken. Let's get some more.
Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving and make a joyful noise unto him with songs. For Yahweh is a great power and a great king above all gods.
Some gods.
All God.
Maybe just a few round the corner.
All God.
Thank you.
In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is his also.
The strength of the hills is his also. He controls volcanoes. He controls avalanches. The strength of the hill is his too. What other strength does the hill have? Let's get some more.
Verse 5. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our power, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if ye will hear his voice.
Today, if you will hear his voice. Y'all don't let tomorrow catch you. Tomorrow is at sundown. A new day starts at sundown.
Right.
Look, it's the same thing in this land. They just started it 6 hours later in sundown. Don't a new day start at midnight? Huh? What's the day's date? The 16th. If your birthday the 17th, when can you holler? It's my birthday. What? Midnight. Midnight 01. Yeah, dog, it's on Facebook that early at midnight 01. And if you get hooked in one of them chain emails and you try to sleep and get up, choo-choo, 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 you be like, oh, they know I'm trying to get some sleep. It's his birthday, 12:01. So y'all, in like manner, they know it's night too. They just start the day 6 hours later. At night. Let's get some more.
Harden not your heart, as in the provocation, and as in the day of temptation in the wilderness.
So he's saying, harden not your heart like what happened in the wilderness, y'all, in preparation time. Preparation time is not a place to harden your heart and get hard-headed and stiff-necked, not in boot camp. If you can't understand boot camp, you're going to end up like Leonard in Full Metal Jacket. See, I say these movies because we watch movies for fact-finding mission. Because it's right before our face. If y'all ain't never seen Full Metal Jacket, get it. But one boy couldn't get through basic training.
Yeah.
And when he finally did get through, it's called the devil jumped on his back. And he turned into the devil in basic training. And y'all see the rest of it if y'all watch it. But all this happening in basic training. If you can't get out of basic training, y'all, you can't get to the kingdom. You ain't gonna know what to do. You think you're gonna learn the law in the kingdom?
What we do now?
What we do now? Let's get some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
When your fathers tempted me, proved me, and say, my work, saw my work.
Go ahead.
40 years long was I grieved with this generation.
How many years?
40 years long was I grieved with this generation, and said, it is a people that do err in their heart.
In their what?
In their heart. And they have not known my ways. Unto whom I swore in my wrath that they should not enter into my rest.
Yo, what rest y'all think this talking about? Y'all think this talking about coming up next Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? Y'all think this is the rest he's talking about? No, he's talking about Hebrews 4:3. That rest, he's swearing they can't enter into that rest. It ain't talking about the regular Sabbath day. This is still practice for us how to get it right, how to do right on the Sabbath. But you still will be doing things. You think we just gonna be sitting around in the Sabbath doing nothing? That will be retirement work for us. It say you'll plant vineyards, you'll be husbandmen. You're going to still do work, but it's going to be work. If you get tired, I done had enough today, I'm going back and sit on the porch. If I don't like doing it, I'm prone, I'm like servant. He hung high. Harvey. All of the nations. Shaddam. You name it, all the nations. Finish up what I just got started on. I want to relax a little taste and sit back. Let's read some more. Where we at? We finished that?
That's it, yeah.
Let's get right into it, y'all. Psalm 104, verse 5 through 9. And y'all, we're going to talk about the rock. That boy out there, Ty Serve, got a jam on the rock I stand. You was thinking that too? Ariana, see, that's a DJ though. So y'all see how we communicate? I don't have to hold up no paper. Ariana, say, "I serve the rock I stand." No, that was up here already. Because of the subject matter we on. Let's get it.
Okay.
Psalms 104, verse 5.
You can start wherever you want to. You can start back at 1 if you want to.
One, yeah.
Okay.
Verse 1. Blessed is the Lord, O my soul, O Yahweh, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty.
What is he clothed with?
Honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with light as with garment.
See, he covered himself with light as a garment. You can't see through him. I mean, it's light. It's so much light. It's so powerful. Like you wear clothes, he wear light, and light is truth and power.
Yes, sir.
If you get to the speed of light, you're in another dimension.
Yes, sir.
If you make it to the speed of light, you're in immortality. The only problem with the speed of light is 187,000 miles a second. Usain Bolt don't have a problem with trying to get to the speed of light. Some of us done tried the speed of light trying to get home before the light comes up.
Never seen to make it.
Stoplight. You in the middle of the street and the light still red. Go on through. They don't need you fooling yourself, y'all. Let's get it. Where we at?
Who stretches out the heavens like a curtain.
Like a what?
Like a curtain.
who led the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot.
Who maketh the clouds his what?
His chariot. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Who maketh the angel spirits his ministers a flaming fire. Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever.
That it should not be removed forever. Y'all, earth ain't never going nowhere. It's rooted. It's set for eternity. It's going to take some bumps and bruises, but it's set up for eternity. Let's read some more. So all this talk about going to Mars and to the moon, it's idle talk, y'all. It's idle talk. You're not going. You can't live on the moon. You cannot go through that Van Allen radiation belt without a 300-pound lead suit on to block that radiation. If it burn up the shuttle coming back in, don't you know they have to wait till a portal open and then they come through that portal? Or you will burn up in outer space. Let's read some more.
Verse 6. Thou coverest it with the deep, deep, as with a garment. The water stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they hastened away. They go up by the mountain. They go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast found for them.
So he said, go ahead, read this next verse. Go ahead.
Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth.
So he's talking about what he told Noah in Genesis 8:9, that a flood will never do this again. Y'all ain't never got to worry about a flood again. Ain't no need us talking flood talk again. It ain't gonna never cover the earth again. And he said the waters know they bound. A typhoon will go into land 3 miles and it will pull everything back out into the ocean like a vacuum. Everything gets sucked back out. If y'all ever just do typhoon hits over there in the Philippines, watch that water go 3 to 5 miles inland and pulls everything back out with it. Because that's how he washes out. Everything he washes out of the land, he cleansing the land. It's article out there now in the Daily Mail talking about people that visited what's supposed to be the most, I guess, Hawaii, and Los Angeles.
The one in Hawaii where people go for the photo opportunity and the waves come up and snatch
them back in there. But he also talk about when you hear about the stench of something reached the Most High nostrils, These people was talking about Los Angeles, and it's another vacation spot in the U.S. that they say it smells like dung in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, you walk through Hollywood, it smells just like
smells like dung because it's called the city of lost angels. That's what happens there. Anything go in Los Angeles. But they say the smell of it. You can smell it, just smell like ruin and grease.
Oh.
That's what it said reached up from Sodom and Gomorrah. And he said, no, that smell, no, that's coming from down there. We got to get that cleaned up right now. I ain't never been to LA.
Well, I can tell you now, if you ever pull over to use the bathroom, it's going anywhere you go.
It smell like
it's gonna already smell like somebody was there. Wow. My cousin told me that, and I ain't believe him, but I'm telling you, it's true.
But guess what's showing up there, y'all? The Lakers and the Rams and all the sports and the movie stars and Hollywood. Look, do y'all know what Hollywood is?
Ooh.
Hollywood is what the tree that they make a magic wand from. That's Hollywood. So it's the city that casts spells. And they got it on a big mountain, don't they? So you can see it. Spell casting here, y'all. Let's read some more. In the land of make believe. Let's get some more.
Verse 10.
What it say?
You sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches.
You can hold up, y'all. Y'all read all that in your own time and see about how the rock do and how he control everything on planet Earth. And they obey him. They will not go, they return where they come from. Them waters that hit that typhoon and go 3 miles in, it returns back where it came from. You don't get a new lake in that area. That water goes back to where it's from. It was sent to go do that. Go clean that up. Wash it out. Oh, the other place, they say New Orleans smell like that, the French Quarters too. Smell like heavy grease and sweaty butter. Just all in the French Quarter.
Man.
But y'all know what goes on down in them French Quarter? 1 Corinthians chapter 10, y'all. 1 through 4, and then we're going to hit 2 Corinthians. What you guys said? Yeah.
Now, that speaks on the table on that. It's what I read so far, you can tell me what's wrong or so. But with that speaks on the table, it says it attracts the person, it attracts the nostrils of the Creator.
Yeah.
So we're going from one that attracts the fragrance or the savor of the master of all eternity to the stitch, which is what
French Quarter.
Yeah.
And call it God.
And call it God. So we're going from one that pleases the Creator to stitch. So with that, looking at that, look like we would want to repent of everything that has anything to do with consequences.
With that stank. You can't cologne that stank out. Look, when Messiah say, or the Father say, you have offered incense, strange incense. Look, our priests lit incense for certain things. You can light an incense for Buddha. If you don't know about lighting incense, y'all, get down to this. There's a body of work. That's called strange fire. We offer strange fire. We built altars to Molech. That's offering of strange fire. That's not the fire he told you to get down with when you make an altar or you burn incense. He said, use frankincense. Burn murder me. Do this. When you're talking about so that he smells it. You think he gonna be, yeah, dog, we got these cherry blossom from Page and Taylor liquor store around there, but he smells so good, the Lord probably gonna like this smell. I'm gonna light up these cherry incense. Them, you like that smell. It ain't frankincense. He has rules when he say light incense to me. Y'all, we get to the point where we think he'll take any smell or anything. When he don't like the smell of the French Quarter. Nor the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Let's get some more. Where we at? 1 Corinthians 10, 1 through 4.
Everybody there?
Y'all, we got a couple more, y'all. We got a couple announcements.
Reading in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, start our reading at verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, but that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
What sea? And what cloud were they under? Because when we get in Exodus 14, do Exodus 14 and Exodus 19, and you'll understand the cloud that we were under, our fathers. Go ahead.
And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
So when we got baptized in the Red Sea, who got wet?
Nope.
So is baptism water immersion only?
No.
Because it said, didn't a shoe get wet? It wasn't a piece of mud on a sandal. It's like they said they went across as on dry ground. But they were baptized, right? This is a spiritual baptism. This is why when you get into the Acts 8 and the Acts 19, there's double baptisms in there. When he asked them, he said, so what y'all get baptized? They say with the baptism of John of repentance. They say, but we ain't heard of the Holy Spirit. Then he laid his hands on them because gifts have to follow. And then they receive the Holy Spirit. But getting wet, you just gonna come up a wet sinner. What difference do you know? Everybody in church to get baptized and the law is done away with. What you coming up as? What you went down as? What has changed? If it ain't no law, what you going down and coming back up for? As what? There's no law. Let's get some more.
Verse 3. And did all eat the same spiritual meat.
What they do?
Ate the same spiritual meat. And did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was a Mashiach.
Who was that rock?
The Christ.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you see, they capitalized rock, so that means that's another title.
Yeah, boy.
You
Not
feel
only
me?
that, but it's showing foundation.
Yeah.
It's a capital rock that lets you know it's solid footing here. Go ahead.
Verse 5. But with many of them, Yah was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Where were they overthrown?
In the wilderness.
Y'all, we in the wilderness of the people right now. Y'all ain't no time to get overthrown. Read a little bit more of that.
Verse 6. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
23,000. No, hold on. 23,000
Yeah.
fell in one day. That was just in one day. But you see what they fell from: lust, fornication. All of this is included in evil. There's no one particular sin that everybody's going to be adjusted on. If you ain't done this when you home free, no. He landed on the line. Landed on the line. He say the marriage bed is undefiled. Everything else but whoremongers, adulterers, I'm a judge them. So that's what we have to understand. Some of those dropped in the wilderness. It was a lot of other ugly behavior that got covered up in the wilderness. But he tells you what's not defiled and what's not fornication. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 9. Neither let us tempt Hamashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents.
So we see they tempted Hamashiach even after that when serpents was biting. That's why they had to hold up the serpent. Moses had to make a cross of a serpent, and you see this today. Y'all probably can't see, Lysa, you know, should have had you draw that. But this is on every medical ambulance and all of these things, you know. On the hospital, that staff right there, that's the serpent that was held up in windows. But when you get into John chapter 3, it tells you Christ had to be lifted up, because everybody that looked at that who sinned, then their sins were healed. So everybody that look upon Christ as his sacrifice of giving his life for us, your sins will be healed. But you got to keep looking at it. But y'all, this thing got so bad, we carried this back into the land. It's called Nehushtan. That's what a cross is really called. And First Kings, it had to be destroyed because we started worshiping it. It had to be destroyed and ground up into powder. We took that on over into the land. And now it's been resurrected through the doctrine of Christianity. The Pope always got it. That's what that is, Nehushtan. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 10. What's up?
Who? Go ahead.
So then that's where the Pentecostal get their things of the snake being able to put your hand and they're not burnt by signifying snake. That's one of the things.
Well, yeah, they use that, but they really go on to Mark 16 that we read. If you take up a serpent, it shall not bite you. But they're tempting the Lord. Like we just read that some of them tempted him in the wilderness. They tempt the Lord. He didn't tell you to go get a serpent. He told you if a serpent bites you, like Paul did in Acts 28 chapter when he was getting firewood to get warm, a viper latched on his hand and he shook it off. And the people waited to see if his hand gonna swell up big as a boxing glove and he gonna fall over dead. But he shook it off and kept getting wood. They say this man is a god. You see this power because first they were saying, look, he's got to be a murderer because the sea threw him on her. They got shipwrecked. Now a viper done bit him. He's a murderer. The Most High is putting this on him. He can't get away. But when he shook that off and kept doing wood, they like, wait a minute, this at another level. So if that happens, if a serpent bites you, but you can't just have a practice of dancing with snake cobras and cottonmouths in front of the congregation. Every one of them that do it get bit and is dead.
Right.
They sure get bit.
Now that's a doctrine that teaches you. No, he didn't tell us to pick up serpents like that. He didn't tell us to go out and challenge the faith like that. That's called blind faith. That's like saying, I'm gonna go out there in that traffic.
Right.
I know it's rush hour and everybody rushing to get home, but the Lord is with me. I'm gonna go through them just like Pac-Man when I used to play that game. No, you ain't. No, you're gonna be a Pac-Man on the side of the road like roadkill when a truck run you over. You cannot tempt the Lord. When the time comes, you're going to know he with you because you're going to know you're supposed to be dead and you still alive. Let's get some more.
We're in verse 10. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for example.
For what?
For example. And they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Ain't nothing we could talk about what you going through that ain't nobody went through before. Nobody. This already done happened as for example. Look, everything they do about world disasters, don't they call it biblical proportion? They're talking about what came out of the Bible. They're not talking about what came out of the Quran. I ain't heard the news for this is of Quranic proportion. We've never seen anything like this. This is a Buddhism proportion. Ain't never seen nothing like it. You ain't never heard it, have you? They always go back to the Bible, to the source, the root of it all. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 13 from the top. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yah is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
See, he always make a way like a ram in the bush for Isaac. Always a way for you to slip out of temptation. The problem is we get gun-ho and go right back. You feel like a ball stand because you done slipped out of temptation, death's door. Now you're ready to be a daredevil. You want to really dare the devil now. Give me some more temptation. I jumped in that lion's cage and the handlers got me out in time. Next, I'm going to jump in the herd. I'm going into Crips and Blood territory. I'm going to call them out.
Oh, you messing with Judas now.
Right.
So you can't tempt the Lord, y'all. This is all the same. Go ahead, read a little bit more, then we're going to get right into that 2 Corinthians chapter 3.
Verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
Do what?
Flee from idolatry.
Right.
I speak as to wise men. Judge ye what I say. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of a Mashiach?
See, every cup, every time you do this, I don't care what y'all doing, if we got a side barbecue going on and we do this, if it ain't about that communion, if it ain't about that brotherhood, you lifting your cup to the wrong deal. Because people can have bad things on their mind. You can have somebody believe in another doctrine. You got to be careful when you do this. You got to know who's surrounding you. So I wound up, ain't you? Let's get some more.
The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of a Mashiach?
Yeah.
For we, being many, are one bread and one body. For we are all partakers of that one bread. Behold, Yisrael, after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar?
So he break it down. He like those that after the flesh, after that, don't they get to eat the sacrifice that come off of that? If you and this fleshly men do that, if you part of something, you get to eat, don't you? And there's a question mark right there. Let's read some more.
What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to Yah. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of Yahweh's table and of the table of devils. Do we provoke the Most High to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
See, but every man's another wealth. Not like you want their wealth, but seeing that they are richer in knowledge as you are. Seek another's wealth. Make sure that they come up to the same level you on. That way you ain't got to worry about always feeding them. They own the level you on. They know how to feed themselves. So henceforth they can feed others, so they learn how to feed themselves. But it say the things that the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice the devil. So they're going to have a practice of the devil. So you understand there will be things that you may see, but until the paperwork, the practice of the devil have to be there for it to work so that they can sacrifice. Because an idol is nothing. It's idols all over this place. There's idols in here. They are nothing. unless you get a body of notes that tells you how to sacrifice that idol. And you bowing and talking to something that can't speak back.
Mm.
You be cutting yourself like they was at the water down there at the battle of the Baal priests at the brook of Kishon. And when it wouldn't work for them, they just start slashing their wrists. See, they're going back to what those demons tell them to do. If you want to worship up, you have to slash yourself. You have to let blood spill so we know it. And they jumping around, cutting themselves, cutting their wrists. And Elijah was looking at them both of them. Woo, and they hollered. He gave them to midnight. He's like, y'all go ahead, keep hollering. I'm going to take a nap. And when he got up and they still hollering, jumping on the altar and fire didn't come down, Elijah simply said, fill it up with water. They filled it up with water. He said, now soak all the wood, put some more water on, and raise his hands and call on the Most High. They say the fire came down and licked the water up all around it, and they jumped back. And that's when he said, you know what it's time for y'all to do? Y'all got to leave here. 450 of them gone. But the work don't stop there. You know why? When Jezebel heard about it, he said, Elijah did what? How many men I got left that can hit? He said, a couple more thousand here. Go get Elijah. Elijah had to flee up to the mountains. And a raven fed him. That's when he said, I'm alone. I done killed all the Baal priests. And those were Israelites, those Baal priests. Y'all know that, don't you? Mm. And then he said, I'm alone. He said, come on, Elijah, you got to be full of yourself. I got 7,000 men ain't never bowed a knee to Baal. You think I'm going to leave myself solo? Y'all, we don't run this for solo. It's a soldier building project that if any one of us get took out, the next soldier stand up, he's already trained to take over and keep moving. We can't set it up for one. Death ain't promised. Death is promised to all of us. Yep. What happened? This whole table get wiped out. What's going to happen to the class? It's got to be 4 more to get up here and fight their way through it. If it's 2 out there, he said that's all they have to be, 2, and watch it grow. But we can't be dependent on one individual. If we teach from that perspective, shame on us. Shame on us. We teach for you to carry it on. That's what he's speaking of, Revelation chapter 2. The church of Nicolaitan, where you just put one man in charge and everything revolves around him. But when they kill him, what happened to the church? Let's get some more. We done with that. Let's get right to 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Y'all, this is where the meat of I want to get some good understanding of this priesthood of faith, the mountain of Yah, Yahushua, Yeshua, the mighty Redeemer. All of the titles you want to give him, the word of God, John 1:1. This is how to understand his priesthood and to get grounded with him. If you don't have this, you're wasting your time in this priesthood. You're trying to go back to kindergarten on it, and it ain't going to work. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, family.
Y'all be careful out there.
Second Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1.
Going this way. You going around? Or is you then him? Go ahead.
Do we begin again to commend ourselves, or need we, as some other epistles of condemnation to you, or letters of condemnation from you? Ye are our epistles, written in our hearts.
Commendation.
Huh?
Not condemnation, is it? It's combination.
Combination. My bad. Sister Boy, you let me get away with that? I had to look up, make sure you was there.
See, just a commendation, like Was that like a letter of support?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ye are our epistle, written in our hearts.
See, the people are that letter written in your hearts. When you see people performing certain things, you're our accommodation. Because you studied this letter. We know what to look for. We see how you walk. Go ahead, bro.
Known and read of all men. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Christ, ministered by us, written not with ink.
Written not with what?
With ink, but with the spirit of the living power. Not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart.
See, so now we splitting priesthood, ain't we? Ain't this separating Mount Sinai? That was written on tables of stone, right? You got to have, you can't just keep looking for what's written. You eventually got to write it up here.
That's that Hebrews 8.
Absolutely, bro. You got to write it up here. If you have to keep looking at the law to behave yourself, when is it going to get up here? That everybody got to keep directing your steps. How you let somebody hold your hand? You a grown, healthy man or woman, and somebody leading you about like you a child. Let's read some more.
And such trust have we through Christ to Yahweh ward, to God ward.
Yeah.
Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of Yahweh.
See, we need him, y'all. He don't need us. If your heart, you get a heart cramp, you are going to need him immediately. That's the first thing going to fly out of your mouth. The heart is a muscle. If it cramps up, that ain't like a Charlie horse in your leg. You think that's a problem. Let that heart muscle grab hold, because it cuts off breath. It does a lot of things that a Charlie horse don't do. Let's get some more.
Who also has made us able ministers of the New Testament.
Of the what?
Of the New Testament. Not of the letter, but of the spirit.
See, and this is what a lot of people, this upsets Hebrews, because it's saying you think we're getting rid of the law. Is Paul getting rid of the law? Paul ain't necessarily. He said, look, that law that was written in stone, that was y'all schoolmaster. That brought you up to the point to where it has to get inside of your soul and live there without you having to keep doing to it. How many times, look, how grown are we? Now, if we keep burning our hand as grown adults while we barbecue, then you ain't graduated from touching the fire back when you was a child. Don't touch that stove, it's hot. Who cooking the Passover lamb? And every time somebody come by, all of us sitting here, me lying, is sitting up here like this with our hands there, hands bandaged up. What happened to y'all? They put their hand in the fire. They still doing childish thing. They touch the fire. And ain't graduated yet. Yo, we can't keep living like somebody have to walk us and hold our hands around. You soon gonna be in a position where they gonna know you an adult in the word. Let us put away childish things. What you got, like?
The law, the scriptures with each other.
With each other.
Know each other, yep.
Because who gonna win at that point? I mean, when you gonna run out? Nigga, you got them Nikes on. Look up Nike, nigga, look up Nike. Ain't that the sports guy? Why you got them on? I got them on because they shoes. And I'm walking on this guy. Now, if the difference is somebody step on them Nikes and you blow their brains out, then you worshiping them Nikes. Then Lil John then got into you. Go ahead. What's going on, bro? Back there.
Right, so you're saying
See you throwing that flag. Go ahead.
So you're saying we shouldn't be going to the law with the brothers. I'm trying to get an example. Like these brothers that came out of town, right?
Yeah.
So after the class, we surround them and everybody got stripped out. Like,
They didn't come here for that. No, for what? I mean, what you gonna do? What you gonna get them? Now look, how y'all get down here? On the bus. Did that bus have y'all traveling on the Sabbath? What? Let me see them Greyhound tickets.
Hey, so is that Colossians 3 verse 16?
What's that?
That the wisdom of God, of Christ dwell in you, richly in you, admonishing one another.
Admonishing, yeah. That's what you do. You build. You're not looking to tear down. Law tears down. It cannot bear fruit. It's not. It's just saying, look, you're only giving them the word to build them up, not to leave them in the gutter. When you hear people just saying, man, we cut their head off, where they at? Who that is? Hello, bro. How you doing? Hello, bro.
I know.
Who that is?
He been here before.
Oh, okay.
He been down here before.
All right, come on in, bro. You know who Israel is, y'all. Israel. You know who it is.
You know who it is. He got him on his neck.
Yeah.
Let's read some more, y'all. Where we at? We in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse what?
Yeah, where was that? Verse 7? No, the end of verse 6.
Let's get it.
For the letter killeth.
For the letter do what?
Kill it.
Uh-huh.
But the spirit giveth life.
See, the letter kill it. When you go law to law, you are cutting each other down. You're cutting each other's throat. It's going to kill you because this is all you're doing is just challenging. Back to back. And not saying it's not for ammunition to build up. It's just we need to break you down so we can keep you in check, so we can always have something hanging over your head. Paul said, when y'all going, why I got to be this? Can't one of y'all take the defraud? Can't you just say, you know what? My bad. My bad on this one, bro. You know what? And then you go away. If you say it's my bad and it happens again and it don't come from you, then it was never your bad, right? But you just took the fault. Versus keep doing this. What the scripture said, yo, that's going to get old because there's no winner in that. We can go till tomorrow naming sin. Everybody know what they doing, and they know what sins on their jacket. And just hope you ain't told nobody the sins like that that's going to have you scared to be somebody will put it out on them. And if they do, it is what it is. We got to keep moving, though, but you can't be held in bondage. Right. The scripture is not grievous. Let's read some more.
Where?
Where is it?
It perpetuates self-life, that perpetuates life.
Say it again, sis.
What you say, and it says to give it life.
Yeah.
What you said that's perpetual because life don't kill. Life perpetuates itself.
Yes, ma'am. See, it says that the law is not for a righteous man. Does that mean that righteous men don't sin and they don't need the law? But when you're practicing righteousness, what are you coming to me for that with that sin? Why we even discussing that? I don't do that. Do you do that? No. What's the conversation about? Unless you're warning me that we're in the times of this or the times of that, or to watch out for that. But going over something with me that I can't do, look, the beard law ain't no need discussing that with me. Get in a conversation with him about Leviticus 19:28. That ain't for me, or 28:19. Sometimes I get them back. But that law ain't no need you keep wrestling with me about that. Look, I ain't got to say nothing about Thomas about braided hair, do I? No allows about that. You know what? We gonna keep battling that law.
I'm follically challenged also.
That's a waste of time, ain't it? The only thing we gonna talk is some Globamain, some sulfate. Let's read on, y'all.
Yeah, they're teaching with them smooth faces.
Yeah.
Verse 7.
What it say?
But if the ministration of death, written and engraved in stones, was glorious.
What was it?
Was glorious.
So we ain't taking nothing away, y'all. We don't want y'all to misunderstand when we're saying Aaron, the priesthood of Aaron, that it didn't have no glory. It had glory. it set us on the right path. It's got us separated from all the nations of the world. When we come out of Egypt, it set us back where we're supposed to be with understanding of who we are as a people. That's glory, that you're not one of the bywords and proverbs, nigger, African-American, Afro-American, jungle bunny, spirit chucker, blackface,
Crip.
blood.
Hmm.
But why won't they blackface the Messiah? Uh-oh. Ain't nobody blackfacing the Messiah, is there? Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 7 again. But if the ministration of death, written and engraved in stones, was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away.
Which glory was to be done away with, because Moses said in Deuteronomy 18, there's another coming out of our lineage. Him you shall hear. My glory gonna fade off, y'all, but him, y'all got to look for this new glory that's coming. When he asked the Messiah, show me that glory, the Father. He said, I'm gonna put you in the cleft of the rock, but you can't see it like this. I'm gonna let my glory pass by. Do you think the Father got off the throne and came down here, or was that the Messiah? Because it's the same glory that showed up in Matthew 17 chapter on the Mount of Transfiguration. He just rekindling what he did back then with Moses. And it was Elijah there. Now the reincarnationists teach that John the Baptist was Elijah. But Luke 1 say he came in the spirit and power of Elijah. Or that was John the Baptist up there on the Mount of Transfiguration. And he was in jail at the time. One of the two, you can't have it both ways. But he's showing you the resurrection power that I have. I got Elijah and Moses standing here. Right here, the same glory that they saw of the Messiah back then. Same words heard. Back then, the same thing. When he said, this is my beloved son, hear ye him. Old and New Testament. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 8.
What it say?
How shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious?
How shall not the spirit of the ministration be glorious too? Y'all thinking just knowing it in your heart ain't glorious? You think you got to just be shouting it out and battling everybody? Or is it inside that somebody can see your light before you even get to it? Like John the Revelator saw the Messiah coming. He said, behold, the Lamb of Yah.
That's right.
Hadn't said a word. He just looked and said, there it is. I see the light. There it is. And then the heavens open. He's like, uh-oh, yeah, this him. Well, y'all wait till Josiah right back there do this monologue. They got set up on at the Passover. Most High will. Let's read some more. You know, Josiah is just like he got an old spirit in him. He like about 36, but ain't about 16 right. How old Josiah now? 14. When you hear him do his monologue, y'all gonna think that's James Earl Jones up there. He's like, wait a minute. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 9.
What it say?
For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory.
Is that making any sense to y'all? Look, if the law of Aaron and it was condemnation, we had to get fringes because man went out and picked up sticks. We built a calf at the bottom and he had to destroy them 10 commandments and go back and get 10 more. Y'all know Moses had to go back up and get 10 more. And he's saying if that was glory of condemnation, because it was putting us on, if a man do this, put him to death. If a man do this, put him to death. If you count that glory, then how much more of the spirit of the law when you got it up here? And then we stop the killing of our brother. It ain't saying that glory was meant to be there. It's discipline. It's basic training. But once you get out of basic training, you got to graduate. You got to go on to what it is you're supposed to be doing because you've been trained. You think this a war that where you gonna run and jump on the monkey bars and crawl under barbed wire, and you think that's scare the enemy? Let's get some more. You be just like Superman. Your chest out like this, taking all the bullets, and then when they throw the pistol at you, you cut. Oh, you ain't got on your helmet of salvation, man. You just got on the breastplate. Let's read some more. Yo, we got to be fully on.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Verse 10.
What it say?
For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excelleth.
By reason of the glory that excelleth. But this is what John say, I shall do what? And he shall do what?
Increase.
That's a different priesthood. John was a Levitical priest. His daddy was Zechariah, a priest in a temple that lit incense in the holies of holies. That was going to decrease. We're going to increase. You can't keep going off of what is lesser. You can't keep eating 2 double rally burgers and then drink a Diet Coke. That ain't going to fix nothing. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 11. For if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glory.
See, this backs up that Romans 11 chapter when it said those of the natural branch that fell off and you being a wild olive branch being brought in, how much more when the natural branch come back to their senses? Let's read some more.
Verse 12.
What it say?
Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech.
We use great plainness of speech. Y'all, we ain't got to be talking about this. So long, just do that. We ain't got to see what that is. This. We ain't got to worry about the languages if we saying this word right or that word right or this word is right. Who is that, y'all? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess you got past the front door. Okay, bro. Tell us something, bro. All right. Yeah.
You know we be tripping.
Yeah. I'm gonna say nobody said. Hey. Just want to know what kind of bomb gonna be dropped.
Like,
Let's read on. What you say, Lodge? Oh, yeah, absolutely, bro. But y'all read that verse for me again, bro.
Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech.
See, we use great plainness of speech, y'all. It's like Paul said in 1 Corinthians 14. I'd rather speak you to 5 words that you can understand than 10,000 that you can't. Look, we can say, Barak Hashah, Hawashah. But when we get through and I sit like this and I say, what does that mean? You're going to have to explain it to me in plain speech. And then while we arguing the Hebrew language, when Zechariah tell us and Zephaniah, there's a pure language coming and his name that's without defilement coming, and we're going to know this. So how you going to battle me about English versus Hebrew? Yes, it was done in Hebrew time, but the bottom line is you ain't proving nothing to me. I want to hear a conversation in Hebrew. I want to see 2 Hebrews that say they know the language talking about the game last night and an interpreter there. And they go, and he, what he say? Man, he say, man, when they pass that ball to Bo Jackson and he run up that wall, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my life. They're having a conversation. Anybody can learn phrases and titles of how to speak English. I'm talking about conversation. You ain't, that don't impress me. Especially when I'm like this, what did you just say? What they gonna have to do? Speak in what language?
English, yeah.
Let's read some more.
On that wild branch again, please.
On Romans 11, you're speaking of, and the natural branch. See, because some say it's all Israel. That Romans 11 is talking about all Israel. The only problem when it starts off and it talks about the wild olive branch, it says salvation had came to them. Already you starting off with they're in salvation. So if they're the wild olive branch of Israel, where is the boasting coming from and why are you looking at them like this? And it says salvation had already happened to them. It cannot be Israel, and then you still got the natural branch, and those that broken off from them will be grafted back in. So you don't boast, or you the broken off part, or where did you come from as the tribes of Israel? To be the wild olive branch, you found salvation, but you still don't know who you are. That's a problem like Cornelius. Good report of all the Jews. Everybody talked to him. He give alms, but yet he still don't know he's an Israelite. That's a problem. What are the nations of the Jews doing then? Man, just take his money, man. Don't tell him he Israel yet. He give good alms, and I know the Lord sent an angel, but he give good alms. Islam says, how can we help? Oh, you don't have to read that. You all right? Thank you very much, Dan. Put that in the box.
You too, sir.
We just didn't know, sis. That's all. He had to come up and go. Okay, thank you, sis. All right, well, you explained some things.
He must have been out there in the years.
John, I'm going to blown out. Huh?
Yeah, they
Donating on the Shabbat?
Yeah, donating on the Shabbat is wrong.
So, so when Paul in Acts 20 took them on the Sabbath day, but he had to tarry, and he ended up taking the money back to Jerusalem for the Father in the wilderness. The only reason he had to tarry, he was waiting on something, but they gave him that money on the Sabbath day. Well, I mean, what are you talking about? He turned over the treasury in the temple because they were making merchandise. They wasn't helping the poor. When you bring alms down, does it say no alms on the Sabbath?
No.
Where you reading that at no alms on the Sabbath?
Nowhere.
Ain't that where you give alms at? Wasn't it on the Sabbath day in the temple?
Yeah.
So when you walk down there, what was they casting? It said the widow who cast in much in the treasury, 2 mites, cast in how much more than they owe? 2 mites. Look up what mite is and what kind of money that is. See what we talk about, y'all, then they start attacking. These are what we're talking about, Sabbath, people that attack how we keep the Sabbath. They still in error. You understand what they're trying to keep it versus to seek that rest that we're talking about. That's erring what they're talking about. Where did you read that that's unlawful to go to? He tell you, look, before you give any alms, you got to go back and make sure you right with your brother. Then come bring your alms. Mm-hmm. What does it say except on the Sabbath day? What that's written at? You talk about the money changers being overturned, but they was hustlers.
Right. And that's what they said. You ain't supposed to buy, sell, or trade, but there is no buying or selling or trading and giving a free will offering. Boy, that's why I put on that free will offering.
Do y'all understand now? This is bondage, what they talk about. Now, nobody gonna give on that. So what we gonna do? Rent gotta be paid down here. What you gonna do? What you think I'm gonna drive around to everybody's house?
No, we gotta show back up down here tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow to do it.
Everybody come tomorrow to get your arms.
Yeah.
See, y'all, these are they're under that schoolmaster still learning basic training. Was Adam told to till the ground on rest day? Wasn't he? Wasn't we in the Sabbath rest of the Father? 6 days, and then the 7th day he brought in the God and told to till the ground, wasn't he? How you till the ground? Didn't he name all the animals? Was he being fruitful and multiplied? Isaiah 4th chapter, ain't that the Sabbath rest of the Lord, 1,000-year millennium? 7 men take hold of, 1 man take hold of 7 women. What they gonna be doing? Just hugged up, doing nothing?
Resting for 1,000 years. Yeah, they say that too.
What they say in the scripture? Jubilees, 1 witness, we play 2 witnesses. Y'all know the rules. 2 witnesses say the Sabbath rest and the Sabbath day. You use in Isaiah 4. Ain't that the Sabbath rest? What is 1 man gonna do with 7 women in the day of the Lord? What is he gonna be doing with them?
Putting in work.
Huh? So are you multiplying in the rest day? Is it rest time and you're multiplying? You need more than Jubilees. Jubilees is mostly written from Aaron. It's 85 to 90% under the priesthood of Aaron. You got to know what you read, like reading Deuteronomy, Numbers, and Leviticus. You got to know when Moses and King David talk about the Melchizedek order, like David did in Psalm 110, even though he was under the Levitical priesthood. He spoke of the Melchizedek priesthood. What is wrong? What's the problem of keeping you back in kindergarten? You see how they just kill it? Now we got the Passover, we got everything coming over, we got to do. We are not at home. You can't do what you did at home here. It's different situations here. But we ain't gonna get tangled up in the going back to Mount Sinai. Yo, this is exactly the letter we read. That's a good question. Glad it came out. But have they put up scripture yet about the Sabbath? Nope. Because we sure gonna ask you about the Messiah. They was plucking corn. Do you know these Negroes were talking about you couldn't even eat on the Sabbath when the disciples walked through the row of corn? But that's in the law. In Leviticus it tells you not to leave borders for strangers to come through and ain't got nothing to eat. Leave that corn for them, but keep it inside. Anything inside the wall fences, if they come across that wall, they steal it. But make sure you plant stuff outside your wall for the strangers to come by and eat. And he gave him a rundown. Which one of y'all, if y'all oxen fall in the hole on the Sabbath day, ain't gonna do this? And pull your garment up and get down in that hole on the Sabbath day. How did they answer the Messiah? They didn't answer. They went away. So y'all, we ain't gonna get caught up in the teachings of Aaron sneaking back in. It had its glory, like we read. Let's read some more about that glory. What you got, Elijah?
Read the book of Tobit, chapter 4, I'll get it on.
Yes.
I'll bring the blessed gift from the Most High to save the poor from death and destruction.
See, y'all, if we ain't got an assembly, we done fell into Hebrews 10:25 now. We're forsaking the assembly. How y'all think this assembly gonna run? You think it's gonna run off of people hooping and hollering in front of the building? We won't end. We won't end to teach our people for free. We won't end. You'll be hollering till tomorrow till they lock the doors and come back and unlock them again. You'll be still out there. We won't end. Or you're going to make a contract and say, this is what we'll pay y'all to use that as a place of worship. The hell are they talking about? Y'all see, that's that bondage we keep talking about. Some things are just common sense. But if you're not used to responsibility, those questions gonna fly out because ain't nothing moving in America without no money. I don't know where y'all living at or what hole you're in, but don't nothing move in America but some money. That's why Solomon say money is a defense, but you can't love it. It's a defense. It's a defense to make sure we have an assembly. I ain't gonna tarry on that too much longer. Let's read some more about this new glory. Go ahead.
Verse 13, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished.
See, he had to put a veil. We couldn't look to that as the end. He was not the shining light. The shining light reflected on him. The Messiah's light reflected on Moses. Moses wasn't the light. You can't look at him. That's going to be about. That light going to go away from Moses. Yep. He going to come back to himself. But the light, the bright and morning star that's mentioned in Revelation is a whole different light. He's the light in Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. Because the sun and the moon weren't created to the fourth day. So what's that light? If you ain't understanding from that perspective, y'all, you're going to be stuck at the foot of Mount Sinai. And we know what happened down there. Let's read some more.
Verse 14.
What it say?
But their minds were blind.
What were their minds?
Blinded. For until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Hamashiach.
See, that verse 14 just answered what the question right there.
There it is.
Still that veil, and then you still you looking at the veil of Moses. How? And he was told to get up in that mountain and die. Still the same questions, y'all. Let's read some more.
Verse 15. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart.
Y'all see that? Go ahead. When Moses is read. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Elohim, the veil shall be taken away.
When you turn to Hamashiach, the veil going to be taken away. You're going to get off of Moses. You're going to get off of Moses. And you're going to get on Hamashiach. When that blindness is removed. Like Paul. Paul was a master in the law. Paul was a chief Pharisee. But he didn't believe in the Messiah. Kicked against the prick to the road to Damascus. Blinded him. He was blind. So he could see. So he's writing and let you know. Look, I'm magna cum laude in the law of Aaron and Moses. Under that priesthood. Same law, different priesthood. I'm magna cum laude. Do you know I had authority from the high priest to kill people who believed in Hamashiach? I killed Steve. I had him put to death. This is what Paul's saying. Because I didn't understand, I was still chasing the veil of Moses. And Moses told me in Deuteronomy, this veil right here ain't going to last long. It's another veil coming from your brother. Him, you better check out. It's the same thing Joshua said, ain't it? In the 10th chapter of the book of Joshua, he's like, look, when the angel of the Lord, he said, look, if you don't listen to him, he's not going to pardon your iniquities. Who was Joshua talking about? Let's read some more, y'all.
Bert?
Yes, ma'am.
But it reminds me of, there's refers to in Hebrew text that there's a flesh, just like a baby born with a piece of flesh over the eyes, or maybe they're born with flesh over the eyes. That this was the same thing that happened with Paul and he, with the flesh that we're talking about, the flesh would go over his eyes.
Yes.
His eyes were open.
Yes.
Excuse me, but he couldn't allow.
No.
But there was a flesh that a veil over his eyes.
Bird doodle black. That's what it was. See, that's all he was worthy of. Bird doodle blindness. That's what blindness. Bird doodle. So that's letting you know when you keep trying to pump something that's done away with, you cannot resurrect the old. The new is here, but the new has already been old. It's from the beginning. All Hamashiach is doing what he did with the Garden of Eden with Adam, all the way up to Egypt, up to Mount Sinai, was the order of Melchizedek. Aaron didn't come in until we left Egypt at the Mount of Sinai. We got trained, then we knew everything, then Hamashiach came, and then it switched back to the order of Melchizedek at the crucifixion. If you ain't understanding the switching in priesthood, you are priest of Mount Sinai. And that's what we listen for. You like, no, you got the veil of Moses on, bro. We got to get past this. Come on, let's explain it from this way. And you know, some are so blinded that when they see these scripts like this here in this script, oh, see now, you know, this is the things we talk about, bro. See, that's where the Romans' hands is in this text. The Romans' hands. The Romans did this part, huh?
You have no belief.
No, you want to go back to Mount Sinai. That's what you want to do. Well, guess what? They finna make apartments over there. That's what the Prince of Saudi talking about doing, bulldozing it down. Y'all Google it right now. Prince of Saudi talking about bulldozing Mount Sinai down. Let's read some more, y'all. We almost done.
Verse 17.
What it say?
Now the Elohim is that spirit, and where the spirit of the Elohim is, there is liberty.
See, there's liberty. If we take you back under Aaron and every step you got to watch, you'll never grow. It's fear at that point. I'm not going to turn these lights on. I know it's 24 out there and there's snow outside, but if I turn them lights on, I'm lighting a fire. and you like you sitting in a cave while the whole Sabbath going. Don't turn that damn stove! Turn that stove off!
Put on another coat.
We hungry, mama, we hungry. You don't eat today! It's the Sabbath.
Dream about food.
Boy, y'all, we can't go back to that, y'all. There's no liberty there, y'all. When you get liberty, when you understand the law, you know there's a line you cannot cross.
That's
Say that loud.
Man.
Say that loud. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. It wasn't the seventh day and then he formed man. He made man on the sixth day and put him into Sabbath rest and then gave him commandments to be fruitful and multiply. Ain't that a rest day? You got a problem with Jubilees, not us. You got to understand what he was talking about when that came up. That was about a cleanliness deal to make sure there's no cross-contamination with the priest. Like David, when he came up to eat the showbread, he said, this is the only requirement that we have. Have any of y'all been with a woman in the last 3 days? He like, I know they ain't, because we have been all together and we ain't doing nothing with each other. So it ain't none of that. He said, y'all can eat the showbread, which is of the priest only. That was the requirement because you're in the temple. It cannot be defiled. And what defile mean is that if blood is on y'all anywhere, y'all on the run. No, ain't been no soap and water. Y'all can't come up here and eat that bread. Have y'all been with a woman? No. Oh, well, eat on then, partners. Eat on. But guess who was there in the temple that these Sabbath dwellers and punishers don't want to admit? Guess who was there? Doeg the Edomite. What is he doing guarding the priest like this? And what David said, as soon as I saw Doeg the Edomite guarding the priests in Jerusalem, I knew it was going to be trouble. I knew it was going to be trouble. So you need to get past what Doeg doing there around our priests. More than we concerned about should somebody donate to the cause for it to continue to go forth. Y'all ever heard craziness like that? Y'all, and this is not personal, y'all. This is doctrine we are attacking. Because there's doctrine that's out in the world that teaches that. They got you on them oil tables collecting money on the Sabbath, don't they? Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 18.
What it say?
But we all, with open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord.
See, we got to change from glory to glory. We got to get past Mount Sinai. That glory, yeah, we understand that. Rock your fringes, do all this, but then we got to go to a more excellent glory where the Holy Spirit dominates. The Holy Spirit will guide you and tell you. You gonna trump the fringes with the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit was before the fringes. The only reason the fringes came because you couldn't obey.
Right.
How you gonna put that above the Holy Spirit?
You needed a reminder.
That's the reminder now. But you can wear your fringes. But you can't talk fringe to me, and the Holy Spirit was the one that formed and he spoke. This is his power. That's what he breathed into Adam. He became a living soul. That's way before fringes. So let us keep our minds clear on what's instructing us versus we just want to prove out a cup to somebody. That don't mean nothing. Just like Paul said, circumcision don't mean nothing, because Genesis 25 say Abraham kept all the commandments, and that was before he was circumcised. He started at 3 according to the book of Jasher. 36 years he spent with Shem and Noah in the book of Jasher, right? Wasn't circumcised yet. And guess what? He circumcised himself. How about you talk that noise? Let's try that. Let's get in that line. Every man circumcised himself. That means pull the foreskin up and hit it.
With a rock.
No.
With a rock.
Oh.
A sharp-edged rock.
No, everybody will have, you leave that up to us, boy, shit, everybody have a blunt look. Where we at? chapter
That
4.
was it. That was it. Go ahead, Ezra.
As you in.
All right, 2 Corinthians chapter 4.
We're going into the next chapter, y'all, to make it even clearer of this liberty. It don't give you license to sin, but grace is a part of that helps you to get it right. It gives you a chance from going to the death chamber immediately. Because like we say, if we were going by that old veil, none of us would be in here but the babies. That would be everybody else would be dead. You would have to be put to death. That's what the Messiah told the man that brought the woman. They say we caught her in the very act of adultery. Well, according to the law, it say where the man at. That's when the Messiah started writing. Is that you with that big rock in your hand? That's pretty jagged, where you can split her head down to the white meat and you know, drive her crazy and have a woozy. You got that rock in your hand. Was that you they protected? That's you they protecting, ain't? And he looked up and he said, what they that accuse you? She said, oh, they disappeared like, and he said, go and do what?
Sin no more.
And why did he tell her that if he knew she had sinned? Because he was only what? One witness. He can't put her to death because they fled. He could have because he's the power. But he kept the law because he's still under the law of Aaron until his crucifixion. Go and sin no more. You getting grace? You getting the priesthood that's coming? You getting the exceeded glory right now. Don't go do this no more. Don't get caught with this one no more. Now you may do another one, but this one, you may not get spared again. Let's read some more. Where we at?
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1.
What it say?
Therefore, saying we have this ministry.
We have this what?
Ministry. As we have received mercy.
Y'all see that what we have received? Mercy. Y'all, this is what this does. It gives us mercy. Because every one of us in here know we should have been dead yesterday.
Yep.
No, we should have been dead. Sin on your mind, running rampant. And guess what? The summertime coming in St. Louis.
Uh-oh.
Shorts walking down Kings Highway.
It's getting hot in here.
Men in white beaters and biker shorts and no underwear on. It's coming. Summertime coming. That's what Eddie Long was sending, wasn't he? Didn't Eddie Long send that to his boyfriend?
Oh my goodness.
Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 1 again. Therefore, saying we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not.
We do what?
Faint not. But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty.
See, the hidden things of dishonesty we renounce. You do that up here. If somebody has to keep showing you for you to get rid of it, you're going to do it with bondage. You're going to be mad about it. And then you're going to hate you do it. Like if you see somebody you ain't seen in a long time. Hey, what's up, bro? Man, y'all still down there teaching? Yeah, man, what's the deal? Oh, well, immediately they start telling you they transgress. Well, see, man, you know, I've been on the dark side, but I'm going to get down there, you know, and I know I need to do these things, and I know I need to do that. And they done told their whole problem of why I ain't down there. But guess what happened when they get in the car? Why you tell them that? Now he know why you ain't been down. You told that. That's right. Keep cussing him out in the mirror. Keep cussing him out that you driving and looking at you ugly and stupid. I can't stand you. Why you telling you ain't been no good? Because it was up here in your consciousness. But I'm not going to blast you with law. I'm like, brother, you done already told on yourself. You just done told me what it takes to fix you. You just said, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come there. You already got the remedy. What else is I'm to say? What I'm going to do, just go file on you? Yeah, nigga, because y'all to know better. Give me some Leviticus 5 on this nigga right here. And then give me, you back it up with this right here. We going to learn today. Y'all think we supposed to be doing that to one another?
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 2 again.
What it say?
But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in crafty.
Not walking in what?
Crafty. Nor handling the word of God deceitfully. But by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God.
Every man's conscience in the sight of God. That means walking behavior before. You ain't got to send a bullhorn. You think because you got a shirt on with the 10 Commandments, that's going to tell somebody what you like? If they keep following you, they're going to find out what you like. Park over here. Boy, is that a stack of singles he got? Oh, where you going? Did that say exit to Brooklyn? Stay back just a little bit. Is he going up in there? Is he got a scripture with him? He gonna tell them strippers to stop, ain't he? And if he have to pay them, he gonna give them money to stop. That's what he got that money for. He gonna pay them so that they don't have to work in here in the strip club.
Right.
Okay, right. Who you fooling? Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
What it say?
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
We ain't hiding our gospel. We're not hiding the gospel of Mashiach.
That's right.
Given to him by his father. Priesthood order Melchizedek. Virgin birth. We ain't gonna never hide it. Let's read some more.
Verse 4. And whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God.
Who is the image of who?
God. Should shine unto them.
Right.
For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake.
Ourselves your servants. If you got anybody serving under you, you cheat. It says you make yourself a servant to your brothers. You be the first one with the shovel. You be the first one to grab this the pipe and lay it down and set up everything. You be the first one so they can see as an example that you're not lording over them. But how you gonna be standing out there like an overseer with your brother and they singing tunes and working laboriously for that past glory? Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us.
See who it got to be of? So that means you cannot talk top talk. There's only one top talker. Matthew 23, 8 on down. For one is your master.
That's right.
It's the chief shepherd. For one is your rabbi. You trying to convince me some Negro eating chicken is third in command?
Right.
You don't know what kind of flour they putting on there, or if it's used grease from yesterday. Y'all know ghetto shops.
Yeah.
That grease ain't that bad. We didn't cook that last batch till about 6:30. We closed at 7. That's still some good grease. We can see through that. How many crumbs you see in that? That grease is good. All you have to do is ask somebody to work at Rabbits what they do with the leftover chili and meat like that. They done told. We throw it all together and mix it up in the next pot of chili for them all.
Yeah, Wendy's. Yeah. Chili bag like that.
Let's read some more.
Verse 8.
What it say?
We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed.
Not distressed, y'all. Don't mean nothing.
We are perplexed, but not in despair.
Not in despair. Y'all ain't worried, ain't wringing hands like we gonna fall apart and fall down. That's what we do. That's how we get down. Till the casket drop. Ain't that what we teach?
That's it.
Where the despair coming from? Either that or you done bit off more than you can chew. And we know what happens when you bite off more than you can chew, because you tell children, get them to the Golden Corral, they see so much, they eat up everything, and then they put so much in their mouth they can't breathe. You start hitting them on the back. You done bit off more than you can chew. You can't even swallow it. Let's read some more.
Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body of the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our body.
Death and resurrection. Go ahead. I was just saying. Yeah.
Verse 11. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Jesus' sake, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our mortal flesh.
And what kind of flesh?
In our mortal
See,
flesh.
y'all, his life has got to be made manifest in this mortal flesh. You have to walk like he walked, because he walked in this flesh, free of sin. You have to imitate that. You have to show that you're a disciple of his and do what he do. If you keep trying to go back to Aaron, you ain't going to do it. You're set up for failure. You're not going to be doing it, because you're supposed to be dead before the sun sets. How you going to promote something to me and you supposed to be dead? All we got to do is start when you woke up. Guys, I tell you what, let's start before you woke up. What you dream about, be honest about it.
Uh-oh.
Watch out now.
Huh? Why is Beyonce's tune in your head when you woke up? What was you doing with Jay-Z's wife while you were asleep? Right. We'll start there, and then we'll move to when you finally got your coffee and left the house, and when you got to work. What's going on back there?
Just get the trash.
Oh, okay.
Youngsters handling the trash.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Good
that.
work, y'all. Starting them early. Train up a child the way he should go. And when he get old, he won't depart from it. You got old men don't know what trash is. They look at it and do the foot stomp. That's where everybody keep putting it and mashing it down this much further. It ain't full yet. Man, get that trash. It's full. Not yet. I got these timbers on. Oh, well, we can get at least 2 more days of trash in there now.
The old Pampers.
If we leave that here, it's going to be a problem. We ain't here but once a week. What's going to happen if we stump the trash down and come back next week? Y'all know what it is. There's Pampers in this trash.
What is that smell?
Right. The French Quarter's up in here. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 12.
What it say?
But then death worketh in us, but life in you.
Right.
We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written.
And according as it is what?
Written.
See, the faith is written in Deuteronomy 18, Micah 4, we just read, Isaiah 53, and we can go on and on, Isaiah 6, Isaiah 9. We can continue to keep going. Psalm 110. Do we need to keep going that faith we talking about? Let's read some more.
I believe, and therefore have I spoken. We also believe, and therefore speak, knowing that he which raised up the Lord Jesus shall raise up us also by Jesus.
By who?
By Jesus. And shall present us with you. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of God.
So it just said everything you do got to go for pleasing him. See, we men pleasers. We're trying to please men by showing them we know how to walk the walk. Men don't care about you pleasing them. Men pleasers ain't worried about that. Men pleasers are looking for faults. That's a total difference. So we're not concerned about that. The Messiah is who we concerned about. Did he say, well done, servant? But if he tell you to go to the left, don't they tell you go to the left in the courtroom? Don't they take them to the left when they found guilty? Stand up, put them cups. There you go, to the left. It's crying and weeping and gnashing of teeth. They look around and they say, bye, y'all. Bye, mama. Look, and we want vengeance so bad, but we see the vengeance doesn't happen to the police that killed Laquan McDonald. Yo, we just have to wait it out. We a microwave generation. We don't want wrath. We want it on us, on the Gentile nations. Now, the only problem is the Romans we just read. He have to start with Israel first. He have to whoop us before you gonna watch them get it. But the police ended up getting up, but they put him in the cell right here, transferred him to Illinois. Boy, a gang of Hebrews went in there, boy, and had they wait. Put that fistic NyQuil on it. Put him to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Jacob plays. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Where we at?
Verse 16. For which cause we faint not.
We do what?
For which cause we faint not.
Right.
But though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
See, this outward man gonna perish, y'all. This gonna get old. You ain't gonna be able to hoop and holler like you used to. This is dying flesh. Sister give us classes, leave our reverend, they give us classes to help maintain this dying flesh. Like you keep waxing your car so rust, this salt won't eat through it. You have to keep doing things so it's preserved and it lasts a little bit longer. But they're going to ask the one thing, how many miles on it? How many miles on it? On your heart? How many miles on it? There ain't nothing you can eat that reverse the mileage. You can prolong it, you can clear it out. But that heart been beaten for many years. Many years it's been doing this. And pretty soon it's going to get tired of doing this. And you're going to know when the silver cord is broken. That Ecclesiastes speak of. And that's when you say, when death hit, everything that tells your spinal cord to work, that's the silver cord, is broken. Your bowels release. If you're on an airplane with somebody and that silver cord break, guess what? You got to sit there and they bowels explode. Look, all of that is being pushed out. I'm talking about I'm talking about school lunches. Everything is coming out. Old stuff. And you can't move. They can't stop the plane. You got to sit there like this. You can't move. Let's read some more. We finished that.
Verse 17.
What it say?
For our light affliction, which is but for a moment.
How long is it?
But for a moment.
Boy, y'all, we crying about something, but ain't for a moment. How is we complaining in the kingdom of the world, the champion of the world right now? What is we complaining about? Yeah, they running roughshod over us, but let us go to Syria, where ISIS is ruling. Let us go over to Nigeria, where Boko Haram is ruling, where they circumcising women. Better know when you got it. Better understand how you got it. You can't do in Israel what we do here, and that's our homeland. You got CCW? Ain't no CCW for in Israel. You can't walk around with nothing. A shank. And you better have a rubber band on it so if they see you, it slide back up in there like that. No, sir, no shank. No pistols. Ain't no CCWs over here in the homeland. How you warn? With what? Here comes the shank flank. They just need to get close to the enemy because you can't shank from a mile away. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 17 again. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
See what it's doing for us, y'all? Eternal glory. It's only for a minute, y'all. Y'all know for some of y'all that reach 35, the clock has been going like this. You like, slow down. What you mean my 40th birthday? Slow down. What you mean my 50th birthday? Slow down. What you mean my 60th birthday? I got 10 left.
What you gonna do?
Let's read some more.
Verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Are they what?
Are eternal.
Hold that, y'all. Let's get some justice. Second Ezra, y'all. We're gonna close on out. Second Ezra chapter 7.
I thought you were skipping it.
No, we got a little time to get that one in. And 7 and 29, y'all. We're gonna read that last one. We're gonna get on out here. Any questions or concerns out there? 2 by. Y'all understand you got to take care of this temple so that the Holy Spirit could dwell in it. That's what Emal does. She makes sure you cleanse this out because the Holy Spirit ain't going to dwell in a temple loaded with pig fat. It ain't going to load it in a temple that's laid up with too much chicken. It's too much chicken, even though it's right. Everything in moderation. Even when he talks about them 300, when Joshua was dealing with it, he said, what men do you want me to get? He said, watch them. They thirsty. They're going to drink water. I'm going to tell you which ones to pick. Now, the ones who just licked down and did like this, just put up to their mouth. But it was some down there doing it. What are you going to do full of water like that but be like this?
Right.
And then when the war starts, you're going to have to tip like you in church. Where you going? I got to go pee. The war going on. But those that just sipping it, just getting enough to satisfy the palate so we can keep going, that's who we looking. Them the soldiers.
Yeah.
Them the soldiers right there. But you get full of eating, you know, if we stop to eat, you eat everything on the table, what's coming with it?
My itis acting up.
Itis on you. Yawn so hard you can see they kid. Where we at? Second S.
Chapter 7.
Huh? What you saying, Elijah? We can start there. What you saying, Elijah? Oh, this second Ezra chapter 7, I'm going to start at 29.
29.
28. Verse 6. Let's start at verse 20 then, Elijah. Let's put it right in the middle. Let's start at verse 20. Yeah.
All right, second Ezra chapter 7, verse.
You want to start at 10? 17. Okay, 17. Let's start at 10. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statute.
What Adam do?
Transgressed my statute.
Uh-huh.
Then was decreed that now is done.
See, then was decreed now is done. When the first man sinned, death is on us now. That's what he did. We going all the way back to the beginning. When Adam transgressed. Let's read some more.
Verse 12.
What it say?
Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of pearls and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man?
What are thou?
A corruptible
Look,
man.
ain't no need you fretting because you gonna die. If you keep breathing, you gonna die. And somebody around you. Yo, we're gonna be at the funeral of somebody sitting at this table. We keep breathing. Somebody sitting out there. If we keep breathing, ain't we?
Mm-hmm.
Unless we got word that on the news and every funeral home is being shut down, there's a miracle happening in the world. People are waking up in the funeral home. Who? Break it down, bro. You talking about Elijah, Enoch. What book you reading? Elisha, yeah, yeah. 1 Kings 17 chapter you speak of. Yes, sir. But he has to come back and die, just like Enoch. Two witnesses. Who they gonna be? Who was at the Mount of Configuration? What did the book of Jude talk about? Two witnesses, their body gonna lay in the street for 3 days. If this is Israel, like some is teaching, then Israel got another day to go. Basically what they're saying is they're gonna kill all of us. The house of Israel and the house of Judah, and all of us gonna lay in the streets dead, and they're gonna be giving gifts, and the whole nation gonna be dead. If you're looking at it from that perspective. But it ain't to be looked at that from that perspective. The two witnesses are who the two witnesses are, because we just read Ezekiel 33 that said it has to go down just like it did in Egypt. How many went to Pharaoh? Right? 2. If it's got to be just like that, it can't be 15 surrounding the capital, hooting and hollering. It's going to be 2. that's going to step up to the man with all the power on planet Earth to destroy planet Earth. Look, I was in the Air Force in the 80s. America could destroy the world 118 times. Then, that was 1980. Russia could do it 120 times. Now China got nuclear. North Korea got nuclear. This is what we're talking about, y'all. Somebody that can wipe the entire planet, everybody that's breathing oxygen out, just by doing this. And you got who in charge right now? Huh? Boy, let's read some more. Yeah. What else to say?
It says, and why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things.
What shall they suffer?
Straight things.
See, y'all, the righteous suffer straight things. There ain't going to be no crooked suffering of the righteous. Meaning, if you get yourself in trouble, it's either going to be straight or it's going to be crooked. If we go back to the beginning, how did you get locked up? What got you locked up? What got you put in the grave? Was it crooked or was it straight? If it's straight, you are a martyr for the kingdom. The death angel came after you and was sent to you so the word would stop going forth. You were a martyr for the straight. You don't want to be a martyr for the crooked. I'm telling you, we had a boy to say he was scratching Yeshua on public property in court. And they got him and gave him, make him go out on the highway and pick up trash for doing it. He said they're persecuting me for the name of the Lord. Negro, that's vandalism. That's vandalism and destruction of city property. What the hell wrong with you?
Because you scratched the name of the Lord in their stuff.
In their court system. Let's read some more.
Verse 18.
What it say?
Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wise. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wise. And he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that hath understanding above the height.
None.
For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of God that is set before them. But God hath given straight commandments.
What kind of commandments?
Straight commandments to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
What should they do to avoid what?
Punishment.
See, punishment, y'all. That's what is to avoid. That's why it says the law is not for a righteous man, because you're living to avoid punishment. You drive better to avoid punishment. Ain't no need you reaching for the seatbelt then when the lights is on. You ain't avoiding punishment. Do that when you get in the car. Do the wrong. Do that then. But you don't think they know this move?
Verse 22.
What it say?
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds.
What kind of deeds?
Wicked deeds. And said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his way. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, Esdras, for the empty or empty things, and for the full or the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear.
What bride we talking about? Is this the same bride in Revelation? See, because the Apocrypha is already in the Bible. It talks the same language what's in the Bible. It just goes into detail. Let's read some more, y'all. We almost out of here.
and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evil shall see my wonder. For my son Jesus shall...
Who? My son who?
Jesus.
Is this the apocrypha? Wait a minute, there's some problems, ain't it? Let's read some more.
For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life, and the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgment, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days the world that yet awaketh not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. And so shall the dust those that dwell in silence. And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the sea of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong.
What's your faith do?
Wax strong. And the work shall flow, and the reward shall
follow.
And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shown, and the good deeds shall be afford, and wicked deeds shall bear no fruit. Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and Jesus after him for Israel in the time of, how you pronounce that?
Sean, that was Joshua, because if you look up any coordinates, Jesus translated Joshua, translated salvation. Go ahead.
And Samuel and David for the destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary, and Helis for those that received the rain, and for the dead that he might live. And
go ahead. What they say?
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Yeah. For the people in the time of Sennacherib.
You good, boy.
Sennacherib.
And many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly. Wherefore shall it not be so now also?
Let's see how he answered.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak.
You pray for the weak if you're praying for this life to continue. We're talking about immortality. See, if you keep talking about I want to live another day, for what? You still gonna die. You're gonna have to live again. You got to pray for that. Let's read some more.
Verse 43.
What it say?
But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past.
What does it call it? The day of what? What the clock they got? What is that clock called? The end of the world clock. When it strikes this time, it's going to be the end of the world. Where do you think they got doomsday from? Right here. Let's read some more.
Verse 44.
What it say?
Intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that has gotten the victory. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam.
Giving the earth unto who?
Adam.
What that make Adam when he has the whole earth? Makes him king, don't it? So, y'all, this is what we're talking about when some try to use that wisdom in Solomon and say the Messiah can be born the way he's born of a virgin birth, because every king, they read that, had this birth into the earth. Who was Adam's mama then? Did Adam have an umbilical cord? This is a king. You gave him the earth, and we say that the world is in the hand of Lucifer, and he the king of this world. Don't it say that? The God of this world. How much more than Adam? How did he get born on this earth? Was it some hunching in the ground?
Oh, man.
I mean, if you're using this this is how crazy that doctrine is when they want to get it across. Let's read some more.
It says, for else, when he was given him to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for man now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. For what profit is it unto us, if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety.
What is laid up for us?
Health and safety. Whereas we have lived wickedly.
See, if we can't, there's no health and safety for you if you've lived wickedly. Ain't no safety zone for that. The lake of fire is for that. Let's read. We're going to stop it at verse 53.
Verse 52. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a gory life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever.
How long it endure?
Forever. Wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it.
See, so it's just this is the man talking from that perspective of if the wicked get this, all that's laid up for that, but we don't get none of that. No, you don't get none of it until you start doing right and setting yourself for this. Adam caused this. Eve ain't mentioned here, is it? You know why? Because he said he gave the world to Adam, not to Eve. You in charge, and you blew it. Where we at? Okay, we will, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
See, we don't even consider that. People don't even think about the other side of death. You better start thinking about it because you're getting older. Pretty soon you're going to be watching your children graduate. What that mean for you? You think your life stop aging? Let's read some more.
Verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
See, so the man is asking, well, they got to go through all this and wickedness is about, and they don't get none of it. He say, if he overcome, I'm going to answer your question. If he overcome, this is what's happening. But you going to fight this fight because of what Adam did. Genesis 3:17, you going to sweat from your brow till you dead. You going to go to work. Yeah, you was born in the rest day, but you didn't want rest. So now, since you wanted to work wickedness, you're going to sweat from your brow. You going to hustle. You going to do this till you dead.
And that's just like the breaking of trust.
That's right.
When you break trust, you gotta work hard and you take trust back.
Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Take labor, long labor, without expecting any kind of fruit in return.
And without any fruit in return, like Paul did on the road to Damascus. He had to go back and hustle and be killed. He was stoned. He laid down. What happened to him? I was stoned 3 times. I got hit across the head this time. I went over there. I was shipwrecked. One guy kicked at me, but I moved just in time. I mean, he was laying it on the line. But he says for the glory.
It's like what we were talking about
Yeah.
Adam committed treason.
Yeah, he did.
So death is the punishment of treason amongst any nation.
Let's read some more. Yes, sir. Since when it ain't? Go ahead.
Verse 59.
What it say?
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life.
Choose what?
Thee life, that thou mayest live.
Go down to 61, we're going to call it.
Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him, no, nor me, which have spoken unto them, that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation.
We can hold out, y'all. Anybody got any questions or concerns? Anything on your heart, mind, or soul? What you got back there, Tom?
You know, that sounds a little like John.
Sound like who?
That sounds a little like John.
Oh, yeah. It's the same rights. The law and the prophet. It worked for everybody. It don't change up because a new people is born. It's the law. It's been there since the beginning. Adam transgressed. This is what we got to get understood. It wasn't Mount Sinai that transgression took place. It was in the Garden of Eden before Mount Sinai, and we are suffering that. I don't care what you try to do. The commandment of death in your flesh ain't going away until immortality comes, and that faith that we speak of, Yah's mountain, Yahweh, locally known as Jesus the Christ around here. So y'all, we just want to make a couple of announcements, y'all. We got the Feast of Purim coming up. This is what it looked like it's on March the 21st at sundown, 22nd. So it's a 2-day feast. Y'all understand this. Purim is not the first feast day of the year. Remember, the first feast day of the year for us is Passover. Purim is, that's why I say in the 13th month. Understand that? In the Hebrew calendar, sometimes you went 12 and 13 months. Purim is the last feast day of last year, so to speak. It just happened to be in 2019. But our first feast day of the year is Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread that we have set for April the 19th at sundown, at evening, I should say, the Passover part. The Feast of Unleavened Bread starts at sundown. Y'all, we're going to do that. It's at the same location it was last year. Got the tickets already ordered, so we'll get with y'all. For those of y'all who are our worldwide family that's going to journey to St. Louis, know that you'll have safety, and there's no concern of anything that you have to be concerned about, but great fellowship and enjoying your brothers and sisters. If you don't know how to do that at that level, you're going to learn. You're going to learn today, or you're going to learn that day. And what we're talking about is how to fellowship with one another in an ignorant-free zone. That's what we're trying to get together before we have y'all come from all the way out of town. We ain't having y'all coming into no drama or nothing like that. You're coming to enjoy yourself, because I ain't going nowhere for nothing like that. Travel, spend money, and then be upset. Who like that? Ain't nowhere to go. You can't even go to a restaurant. You go to fast food and they don't give you your ketchup for your fries. You angry as hell. You would turn around and go all the way back for that. So let alone you spend some money like this to come and enjoy the feast of the Most High, to lift that cup up, and to break that bread, and to come into the body of a Mashiach, y'all, that's been set up and prepared now. Got the location, tickets will be out. Those of y'all that's coming from out of town, see, Tobias just put up a video. It's called the Passover instructions right there for any out of town. You can see it's just a quick little link, about 1 minute or so, and it's also up on the Mr. Hebrew One, MrHebrew1.tv out there on BrewTube as well, for those that are traveling to St. Louis, y'all. So we want to just put that information out there, y'all. It's coming up, and there's also a time to start cleansing our hearts and get the leavening out, y'all. We got to April the 19th. Don't show up. Don't be calling, or don't be sending out 100 text messages on April the 18th talking about, if I offended you, forgive me. If you got to send out something like that, you don't know what you've been doing. You've been messing with everybody. If you have to ask if I did it to you, that's a problem already. You ought to know who you offended. and go to them like the scriptures say. How you gonna go to them like that if I offended you? You know, I mean, you could get a flood of calls that day. Yeah, nigga, it's me. Earl from the thigh shop. Remember you come around here? You come around here with that. You don't remember that, do you? I told you $8 for to fix that flat, and you left $7 and rolled off when I went back there to take a leak. I'm mad. Come and talk to me. What my dollar?
What my dollar?
And look, don't get into that, y'all. Don't get into that. If you need to start cutting them down right now if there's somebody that's offensive and get that cleared up. Y'all have to understand, and we're talking about the brothers and sisters of the faith. We ain't talking about because you made some non-messianic mad. Don't care nothing about that. They already condemned. Ain't nothing to be mad about that. But if you have to say, if I offended you, that's a problem. What if you get 30 emails? Remember me from the 10th grade?
That's some long grudge.
Well, that's what they said. If I did it, but that ain't the way the law works. What you got, sis?
You wanted to give a shout out to.
That's right. Shout out y'all to, because we're getting ready for Purim. Need to make that mention too. March the sundown 21st and 22nd. Sister brought some tubs. Sister Deborah tubs up there, because what we do is we make packages for the homes, deodorant, non-perishables. So you can't bring down here nothing that, you can't stop at Quick Trip and get a couple hot dogs, because we can't have no lawsuits. If they don't eat it for 3 days, they're gonna have something going on with it. We could be sued for that. So non-perishable socks and different things like that, but they're gonna put out a list. But our sister Yeshua and Sister Davida, they run the blackbeautyorchid.com. It's a website out there, y'all. They make fabulous soaps and body works and everything. They send us a whole supply of different type of soaps for the Feast of Purim. They said they thought about giving somebody, but they say we heard y'all taking donations for that, and they sent us a whole shipment of that so that you can pack. I'm talking about these are top of the line soaps and different things. And y'all, we also got a sister here, Brother Ariel's wife, J-Mo. They do a good work here too on those type of products. But just want to send shout out to Sister Davida and Yoshan and them for assisting us in this walk and being sure that we can give to the poor, y'all, because the poor is left for us so we never forget how to give. That's why they're here, so you don't forget. If you forget how to give, you're going to get on your high horse. And we don't ever want to do that, y'all. So we want to thank all of those that support us. Want to send shouts out to Benny Yahoo over there and everybody that helps us and continue in this walk, in this struggle till we meet our King. Anybody got anything else? You got anything else? They'll be, I'm picking them up Monday or Tuesday. They told me they'll be ready early in the next week. So we got to meet 20th, right? Don't. Well, it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks since the last. So we'll have them there, and myself and Edson, we'll get them out to y'all, and we'll get them ready. But there's instructions for anybody else coming from out of town or how we deal with their situation and tickets. So y'all, we get all that ready, y'all. We have to get prepared, y'all. I know it sounds like it's a far way to go, but there's a cost for where we're getting prepared. And the Messiah did it. He told him, go tell the man to get the room prepared, didn't he? For the Passover. That was ahead of time. They didn't wait to that day. He sent them to go pray. You'll see him, he got a picture in his hand. That's the man. He know the deal. We had already signed the contract. As soon as you see him, that's the tip off. He got the picture in his hand. He got the room already ready for us, y'all. And the room have to be ready. You think we're going to have people come from out of town and the room ain't ready? And sisters are talking about really getting the room together this year, y'all. We're going to fancy it up a little bit. But that I ain't got no more, y'all. Who got something? Go ahead, sis. Just so admitted to me. So, y'all, that we're going to talk to you since we'll rap with you about that concerning it. Yeah.
And Jake wanted to just send a thank you out to all the people who came through for Ocpeasy, too.
Yeah. Thank y'all for y'all donated anything, y'all, and thank y'all for the prayers of Brother Ariel.
Yes, sir.
Mother passed on, but brother was able to spend time with her. And the Messiah what he did is her illness was cured long enough for him to speak light to her. Took her to the Grand Canyon and all these things while she could smell her roses. And then, you know, it got worrisome when she found out it had returned. But y'all, I'm asking y'all to read Isaiah 38th chapter about King Hezekiah. And it said, when the Lord sent a prophet to him and told him, your days is numbered, you through tomorrow. And the first thing he did is pray to God. And the Most High gave him 15 years. He didn't tell him how long I'm going to give you. He said, I'm going to extend your time then. And this is how you're going to know it. I'm going to make the sun go backwards. And you're going to know that I'm true about what I'm saying to you. And he gave him 15. You don't think he wanted 1,500 more? But he gave him 15 more. And this is what bro explained to his mother. Mama, he gave you time to know him. He strengthened you back up to know him. But what was ordained for this, if you live 2 more hundred years, that was still going, and bombing fluid was still going to get in you. So y'all, with that, we want to keep ourselves true to each other. Y'all, that's the only way we can live. We have to be true, y'all. We have to be up here knowing one another. So when people ask, hey, y'all from the order of Melchizedek, virgin birth, that's where we from. Y'all, there ain't no particular place that we can say. We're talking about the gospel that we're following. That's all we talking about, y'all. If you ain't teaching that, we wasting our time. Who got something? You good? All right, then. Let's get on there. Let's get there. You got what?
I just want to let you know in case someone wants something to get heated.
If y'all need anything, you said heat it up. Tea, y'all, it's healthy herbal tea. Sister Barbara brought right back here. If any of y'all feel a little scratchy throat, already looking out for us, y'all. She does this, y'all, that we may preserve this dying flesh. That's what she's been brought to the body for, to help us preserve this dying flesh as long as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and let me not forget, y'all, but we mentioned, though, also, Brother Fonzo, hold up your head, Fonzo. Been a couple months ago, Brother Fonzo and his brother Ed lost their mother, too. About a month ago, Brother Fonzo? Yeah, so that we asking for prayers for this brother as well, because hearts are still heavy, y'all. What you got, nephew? Grandmother gave us a ghost, y'all. Y'all see how this continues on? But we can't get weary and we can't faint because this happened. If we keep living, they're going to be talking about us. What you got, bro?
We'll get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only beloved and begotten Son, our Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 28th chapter, and it reads, unto thee will I cry, O Yahweh, my rock.
My rock.
My rock. Be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplication when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their deeds, and according to the wickedness of their endeavor. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their deserts. Because they regard not the works of Yahweh, nor the operation of his hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be Yahweh. Blessed be Yahweh, because he hath heard the voice of my supplication. Yahweh is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices, and with my song will I praise him. Yahweh is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointing. Save thy people, and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also, and lift them up forever.
Y'all got a shekel or two, y'all, we greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
Now, like I say, thanks to the family
Yes,
that support us in the worldwide family out there. Shalom, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyone y'all got some scratchy throats? Scratchy throat reliever.